Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Breakfast at SummerSlam, a special edition of Shootin' the Breeze. I'm Taker's Minion, one of your hosts, joined by my co-host, Mr. Dr. Senju from the land of the rising sun. Konnichiwa.
Arigatou gozaimasu, Mr. Taker Minions.
And how are you this fine evening?
I'm fine. Thanks for asking, considering that we did a podcast yesterday. So
less than 24 hours ago.
We're pushing on all cylinders for this week. So there's that.
Yeah. And I have a panel. We have convened a distinguished panel of guests, starting with the rookie, his debut on podcasting. That is Adam Rice from the Nightly. How are you, Adam?
Hey, guys. I'm good, TM. Happy to be with you on this fine Saturday morning.
Thank you. I'm also joined by two-time, this is her second appearance within 2 weeks, or within 13 days,
Okay.
Ambrose Alley from the great state of Wyoming. Good morning, Ambrose.
Bore da, everyone.
Then we have one half of Two Guys in One Sport, the notorious curtain jerker. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I was just talking about professional wrestling, but you know what? You can never talk too much about professional wrestling. I got a Bloody Mary in one hand and a bowl of cereal in the other, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do this.
All righty. And we're joined by the most senior of us in the internet wrestling community and to podcasting, 114 Fitzpatrick. Good morning to you, sir.
Also known as William Fitzpatrick on certain shows, but hello, folks, and good morning, wrestling fans. We are here today to talk about the world of WWE SummerSlam. We're not going to be talking about TakeOver, folks, as Taker will say. And I'm so happy to be here. I got up bright and early in the morning. I actually managed to get a proper amount of sleep this time, so I'm all right and ready to talk about, oh, dear Lord, there are 13 matches on this card.
Yes, there are. Shall we get started with the pre-show first, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, sure. But before that, I'm just going to point out that you guys are on breakfast. I am on late nights right now.
Excuse me. That's why, unfortunately, we're going off of Eastern time, so therefore it is breakfast or brunch now.
Yeah.
Besides, breakfast is good for all hours.
Yeah. Who doesn't like a plate of bacon and a bowl of scrambled eggs for dinner?
That's for you.
Oh, now you're making me hungry. Damn it.
Please don't go off on a segue like we did again yesterday with food.
Oh, you and that damn chicken or that damn salmon?
The damn salmon parcel, of course. Anyways, right now we have 13 matches to digest. So let's get started on it.
Good segue.
Nice.
Good segue.
Very
Nice.
good. What's the first match there, MDS?
Okay, first on the pre-show, we have Akira Tozawa with Titus ONeil against Neville, the singles match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship on the pre-show. This is the first match that would be on the pre-show. And, well...
It's a match. It's Tozawa's first defense.
Yes, because he just won the title this week.
Yes, he pulled off the great upset.
And he pulled off an even greater upset with Neville's reaction on the internet. No, 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 no. And then why?
And then we saw him on 205 Live the next night, and he looked like he hadn't slept in a week.
Well, Sal Fizz's partner had one perfect line. He looked like King Theoden from Lord of the Rings when he was possessed. That was good.
That's clever. Anyway. That's a good analogy.
Yeah,
yes,
you look
okay,
like
Mr. Adam, what do you think of this match yourself?
Me personally, I'm excited to see what these guys can do when they're out there on a bigger stage like SummerSlam. Their match on Raw was great. I'm a little worried about why they decided to put the strap on Tozawa going into SummerSlam. It makes me think they're going to do the trade back and forth, but no, keep that belt on Tozawa. Neville's had the belt for long enough. Let's try to get some more blood going through the 205 Live division.
I would agree. Okay, Ambrose, what do you think of this match? Are you excited or you're like, meh?
This match I am pretty much met for. It's
Uh-oh.
I'll probably use this to get all my munchies and everything for the Raw Tag Team match later on.
I don't blame you.
So this is going to be pretty much her routine break to get the munchies before the tag match.
Get the munchies, run to the bathroom, have the cooler full of beer or whatever she has next to her so she ain't got to leave the room.
And take the dog out.
Yeah, let the dog.
Oh, perfect. I would certainly agree.
All right. Fizz, what do you think?
Okay, this is the first of the 3 matches on the pre-show. We don't know exactly what the order is going to be, but this is most likely predicted to be the first match that goes on the show to open it up. As far as this match is concerned, I would go with an even more bigger Lord of the Rings analogy than my broadcasting partner has. I go full Golem. Neville has gone full Golem in this situation.
That's twice we've heard that.
He's gone extremely possessive about the shiny thing. Yes, that's my terminology for belts, folks, is shiny thing. And Neville has gotten possessive about the belt. He's now angry about the fact that the king of the cruiserweights no longer has the precious. Akira Tozawa has it. And this is one of the strangest pairings ever. Titus ONeil, Akira Tozawa, and Apollo Crews on this Titus Worldwide. That's what they're calling the stable now, is Titus Worldwide. It's going to be a very interesting match. It's going to be really fast-paced. The individuals have worked together well before, and I'm pretty much expecting at this point that Tozawa is probably going to retain the belt. Neville's probably going to go off into a secondary feud or a rematch feud for the belt for 1 more month, and then we will have Neville versus somebody else. And that's really pretty much it when it comes to the Cruiserweight division, although I honestly think that 205 Live at this point is one of the most underrated divisions in WWE right now.
205 Live is an excellent show, week in and week out. It is an excellent show. And it's a shame that nobody watches, and it's a shame that nobody cares about it in the crowd. But the show itself is very, very good. It is an old-school wrestling show. It focuses on 1 match an episode. It tells 1 or 2 stories an episode, and it does a very good job doing that.
I agree.
So good call, Fizz.
Very good call, Fizz. Curtain Jerker, what do you think of this match yourself?
I am excited for this match. I thought they would, quote, ruin it when they gave Tozawa the belt. I thought they should have saved it for SummerSlam. But as good as Neville has been, with the championship, the character work he's done since losing the belt, as we talked about with him tweeting and losing the precious, has been awesome. I think this match should go a little bit of decent time, maybe 10, 15 minutes. Have Tozawa retain definitively to give him some juice, and then see what happens with Neville's character. Because I think there's a lot of avenues you can approach Neville as the deranged king who doesn't have a crown and whose whole worldview is kind of falling apart. I think there's something there. I think there's a little bit of juice there. And then we move on to Tozawa versus, I don't know, whomever.
How about Tozawa versus Jack Gallagher?
Sure. Tozawa versus Jack Gallagher. We didn't get Jack Gallagher versus Pete Dunne at Progress because Pete Dunne was hurt, so Gallagher maybe can get this belt instead down the line. But, I mean, there's something here now. Just like we talked about a little bit last night about how Asuka having the NXT Women's Championship freezes that division. Tozawa has liberated that division from Neville because there wasn't much left with Neville. But now we have a lot of stuff going on. So I'm excited for the match itself. These 2 guys work well together. They have good chemistry. They're both excellent professional wrestlers. And the match itself should be pretty good. And I hope it gets a decent chunk of time.
Right. MDS, what do you think?
I would agree with everybody right now because, like both Fizz and CJ said, 205 Live has slowly and steadily become one of the most underrated shows that you gotta watch, but yet nobody else watches it because they have been burned once and can't really bear themselves to get to watching it again. But in a sense, right now that they have cut a lot of the fat with 5 or 4 storylines a week, now we only have 2 or 3 main strong storylines per week on either show on 205 Live. And They are concentrating their efforts on these storylines, and it shows, and it definitely shows, because they're concentrating on what they are, which are the cruiserweights, high flyers, and really high risk maneuvers and all that. And so far, they have shown that they can carry the show, and quietly, it has become WWE's fourth show to watch after NXT. Who knows?
Yeah, I would agree with that because, like I said yesterday on our podcast, the Tozawa Neville match. I think I think it was 10, 12 minutes, if we remember correctly. We weren't sure. It kept my attention. You know, and I'm not one into a lot of flippy shit.
Yes, sir. Because
the match was fast paced, and I saw a lot of the lucha libre style from CMLL go on with this match, and it was like, you know, it was fantastic. But there's one thing that everybody has failed to touch on, and Fizz, I'm surprised at this, because when Titus put out the tweet about Akira Tozawa winning the title, he also mentioned Sasha Banks as a member of Titus Worldwide.
Okay. That's actually the first I've heard of it. I've kind of been out of the wrestling loop for the last couple of weeks because I've been battling an illness. So
I'm aware. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus.
Oh no, I know that, man, and I know that. I think that it's very interesting that Titus is trying to snag another client for the women's division. He's first tried with Dana Brooks. Now he's trying with Sasha Banks.
No, he's been trying with Sasha Banks. Dana Brooke is the one that's asking to get in, and he told her, go do something, and then we'll let you in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds like an interesting storyline there. You know, and I think that you have Tozawa is a good champion to have at this point, and you have Neville, who's could be used as a springboard for other storylines. He basically fills the Austin Aries role because they catapulted him out of a trebuchet, and he's in the Bermuda Triangle right now. Also, he might be starring in a Cohan's remake.
Unless he's going to wind up in GFW, which is a cockroach that just won't seem to die.
And they're the Donner Party of professional wrestling for a reason.
They will outlive us all. Our children will be dead and gone, and GFW will still be there with the green ropes.
I think our children's children will die, and GFW will still be there.
Yeah.
You know, there's only 3 things that'll survive in the impending nuclear holocaust: Twinkies, cockroaches, and Global Force Wrestling.
Yep. Like when the super mutants and raiders and ghouls from Fallout take over, GFW will still be running shows in between towns.
Oh God, it's a future I'm not really wanting my grandchildren to see, or even my grandchildren's grandchildren.
No, thankfully we'll all be dead and gone, so someone else is gone.
Yeah, there's a fourth thing that probably still be around too. There, Adam, you forgot.
What was that?
Mike the Miz Mizanin.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Folks, you might be familiar with Taker's hatred of The Miz, and we're going to be talking about that one.
Although a couple of weeks ago, he got some of my respect because he shut Paul Heyman's mouth.
Oh, I didn't realize you hated the ancient wizard even more so than Miz.
He pulled off something that I've been wanting. I've been wanting I've been wanting somebody to shut Paul Heyman up, and Paul Heyman got in the ring with Miz and Brock Lesnar and started to run his mouth, and Miz put his hand up and said, "When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut." And Paul stopped dead in his tracks and was like, "Okay, fine."
And then Brock murdered them all.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. And it was a glorious moment indeed.
It was a great moment to see everybody get murdered, but it was also a great moment for The Miz. Yeah, he got my respect for a second. 1 second, maybe 2.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. So 1 step at a time for The Miz.
Yeah, 1 step.
He's still got a long way to go.
A lot of steps left, I was about to say. It's a very long journey.
So, okay. Here's one small question. How long would this match in the pre-show take then?
Are we talking about The Miz? We're talking about the cruiserweights.
We're talking about Akira Tozawa and Titus ONeil versus Neville.
I hope no shorter than 12 minutes.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I wanted to have the same amount of time they had on the Raw show. That would be perfect.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, sounds good, huh? Adam?
You have to give these guys, with their talent and ability to tell a story in the ring, no less than 10 minutes. If these guys come in and only have a 9-minute match on the pre-show, so they can give something else further down the line on the card, then you're screwing up initially right off the bat.
So you're basically saying that they need to be able to put 10 pounds of shit in a 10-pound bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect analogy.
I'm thinking probably 8 to 10 minutes. Nice fast-paced match to start off the show. Then we continue on with the 6-man to be the next match, and then finally the other championship match on the card to finish off the pre-show.
Okay. So
Allie,
now we go on to the next match. One of my favorite people. The Miz and the Miztourage versus
The Hardy Boys.
the Hardy Boys and Kurt Angle's illegitimate son, Jason Jordan, who has looked terrible as a singles wrestler. And I'm going to start with Ambrose Alley on this one. What do you think of this match?
Oh, with this match, it's going to be I think it's going to be a fun match. I think they're going to use it for Jason to pin the Miz, so he gets an IC shot.
Huh?
That is, I'm seeing politics in this match more than anything.
Aha.
Thing right now, guys. So
Okay. I could see shenanigans happening on this match, though. What about you guys?
I'm looking forward to this one.
Fizz?
Okay, this match here is your standard 6-man tag team. Let's get everybody on the goddamn card show because we don't have enough time. First up, we have The Miz, the Intercontinental Champion and Taker's Minion least favorite wrestler. I'm sure that he uses his standee for target practice at some points. So, we have The Miz, who is the most hated wrestler, taking Minions, opinion. And then we have his Miztourage, complete with conspiracy theorist Bo Dallas, who believes the golf balls control the world. And then we have Curtis Axel, who is the most sane, normal person here and is probably the one person in this match that Taker doesn't hate. Then on the enemy team side, alongside the Muscle Maurice. Then on the face team side, we have the Hardy Boys, Hardy Men, whatever they're going with, whatever gimmick of the week they're going to be doing. And then we have, oh dear Lord, Jason Jordan. Jason Jordan, very good wrestler, very good skilled wrestler. Cannot put a promo to save his life, unfortunately. Chad Gable is sitting in catering on SmackDown, grinning ear to ear because he was so gosh dang short that they missed him for this gimmick and this particular angle. Now Jordan has to basically go through this angle for basically about a year or two, and hopefully we'll get a gimmick change at some point, or it will be revealed that that this was a ruse all along, that Jason Jordan was on some kind of plan with Stephanie McMahon. This is how these storylines always end up, folks. So the match itself will probably be about an 8-minute time filter to get us to the third match on the card. It will be enjoyable for what it is. Hopefully the Hardys don't hurt themselves in this match. And, of course, Jason Jordan will probably get the pin on The Miz so that we can continue at No Mercy, which is the next pay-per-view on the late September, which is a Raw-branded show this year. It's not SmackDown this time. And Jordan versus The Miz will probably be one of the matches on that card.
Now, do you see Jordan taking the strap from Miz?
I think for at least the fall, they will probably have him have the belt because fall is football season and they really don't. It really doesn't matter to them if they're going to try some experimentation on Raw, and the Intercontinental Championship is a perfect place for experimentation at this point. So they'll just go with Jordan. Maybe they'll go for him for about 2 or 3 months, and then they'll drop the belt back to The Miz if it doesn't work out.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys.
Someone owes all of you beer.
I got a message from Mrs. Taker.
Okay.
She's just telling me good luck with the show.
Nice. They're very supportive of her.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, she's known as Legends Lover on Cage Side Seats.
Yep. And so who wants to go next on this topic, Taker?
I'll take Curtain Jerker for 100.
Ah, thanks. I think the Hardy Boys nostalgia act has kind of played its course. They're good where they are now. If we're not getting the Broken or the Woken or whatever their new gimmick is, I don't think there's a lot left with them. The Miz is fine. I think he's good. I'm not anywhere near the fan Don Sal is. I don't hate the guy anywhere near as much as Taker's minion does. I think he's a good where he is. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, whatever. Curtis Axel does nothing for me. At least Bo Dallas is kind of fun. Let's talk about Jason Jordan. I think it's pretty obvious at this point that they split up the wrong pairing in America, that they pushed the wrong guy in American Alpha. I think it's pretty obvious that Chad Gable was the juice in the company in the team, and I think that Jason Jordan is a charisma black hole. He is a good hot tag. He has a good look. He is a good worker, but nobody cares about him. And if nobody cares about you in this business, you're done for. You're shot. If there's nothing for me to hook onto or anyone to hook onto, what are we doing here? You know, like what's going on? Like why am I invested in this match? You know, so that's kind of where I am right now with this match. There's nothing to hook me, and it's clear it's a star vehicle for Jordan. Like that's the thing. That's what he's there for. That's what the match is structured around, to make him the man. But there's another failure, it looks like, on the WWE's end.
Did anybody just get flashbacks to Survivor Series of the late 90s when they debuted Rocky Maivia?
That's an insult to Rocky Maivia. At least he was charismatic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know, like Jordan's worse than Rocky Maivia, and I don't think it'll be helped with the heel turn.
Well, let's put it this way. When Rocky Maivia debuted at SummerSlam, I actually liked him. I actually saw him debut, watched him wrestle, watched his career, or watched his character development, and it kind of stalled. And the whole Rocky was in a sense, it turned out to be a good thing, because when he wound up being with the Nation of Domination is when he really became the man and the performer that he is now. Okay. My opinions on this match is that I would agree with Curtain Jerker that they pushed the wrong guy. Jordan just can't seem. Jordan's been the quote unquote white meat babyface since he started in NXT and WWE, and Chad Gable actually was a heel first, which I think taught him how to speak better.
Agreed. Good distinction there, Taker.
And that's what I keep saying about certain individuals on the roster that they need, you know, and we know who I'm talking about. Most of it's when she's out, quote unquote, with a separated shoulder, and that's Bayley. She's done the heel thing in the indies. She's good at it. She's been doing this character to, you know, fangirl, little girl for 4+ years. She's getting bored with it. It's time for her to turn to the dark side and really show what she can do. And the only way they're going to be able to straighten Jordan out is if that he turns on his dad, he turns on everybody, becomes this black, I mean, darker than dark heel, who don't give any shits or any fucks about anybody, and makes himself something.
Well, actually, he had a pretty decent heel gimmick down in NXT. He actually broke away from Ty Dillinger and became a single star on the house show circuit, and was actually a heel for a long time before Chad Gabe showed up.
But you never saw him as a heel on TV.
A few times, but never. But because of the fact that at that time NXT was shifting its focus away from developmental and onto let's sign every 30-year-old, 40-year-old man available so that we can stuff our roster full of bit players so that we can go on touring.
Okay, Adam, what do you think?
This, first of all, if this match is getting 6 minutes, it's nothing but filler. Twist of Fate, Swanton, whatever Jason Jordan's finisher is, 1, 2, 3, get the hell out of there.
Yeah, good point. Go up, get your shit in, get out.
Yep.
the Hardys are the Hardys. You know, you can't not. I mean, you can't knock what they do. It's time tested. The crowd pops every time. They're your safe space in this match, so to speak. The Miz, I know TM, he's not your favorite, but this guy for easily the last 2 years, but maybe even longer than that, has been one of the most consistent heels in this company. It's a shame they moved him from SmackDown to Raw because he was so primed to get that next run with the WWE title, and the move to Raw killed all of his momentum. The Miztourage is the Miztourage. I mean, bland toast. Although I will say, on Raw, I noticed this. I don't know if anyone else did. Did anyone notice that Bo Dallas is now wearing the black glove of his grandfather, the Mulligan family?
Really? I did not. But I will.
That's right. He is wearing a black glove on his right hand.
I'll have to look for that now.
He's wearing.
I noticed that
picture. Yeah, I saw that. Was like, okay, he's wearing a black glove.
He's wearing.
I did not see that. I did not see the significance of that. And me being old school, I should have picked it up.
I didn't notice it either. Good catch, Adam. I'll have to check it out on Sunday.
Double check and see if he's wearing it on Sunday. But yeah, which I think is great, just as an aside, to see Bo Dallas injecting that little bit of the legacy that we know he is. I mean, I'd love to see his brother maybe take that leap, but that's a whole nother story for further down the card here. Jason Jordan, I put this on Twitter that the guy's a talent. You can't deny that in the ring. He wrestled at the University of Indiana. He's a blue chip prospect if there ever was one. You just notice it in his movements. He's so smooth. That overhead belly-to-belly suplex is fantastic. He's quicker than a guy of his size should be. But they have done to him what they did to Bayley, what they did to Apollo Crews, what they've done to every smiley babyface they ever stick out there on the roster. They want us to cheer them for being smiley, good guy, white teeth, big smile babyfaces. And the crowd doesn't hook onto that anymore. I'm sorry.
No.
Very special circumstances only. Like Bayley in NXT.
Bayley and
that's
NXT,
not the main roster, though.
Right. Bayley in NXT worked because she was a smiley babyface who had agency. I failed to see where the agency is with Jason Jordan. The Rock got over eventually as a babyface because his charisma eventually took him, in his promos, took him to where they eventually saw him. Jason Jordan, what I'm seeing with Jason Jordan is they're trying to build him like they built Kurt Angle when he first came into the company. The only difference is Kurt was faking trying to be the all-American good boy, but he was a really condescending asshat.
Yeah.
With Jason Jordan, he's trying to get over on being the all-American good boy and without that corny condensation. Sorry, I know that's not the right word, but
condescending. That
condescending nature. Jason Jordan doesn't have that. They just stick him out there and they watch him die on the vine. But I've gone more on Jason Jordan than probably the match will go on for. Like I said, twist of fate, swanton bomb, 1, 2, 3, get your shit in, get out.
MDS, you want to make it a complete that this is going to be a dumpster fire?
Okay. Unfortunately, I would have to agree that it would be a dumpster fire. It's not going to be a good match in any sense of the word, but it's not going to be terrible. I mean, you have 6 people who can definitely wrestle in there. It's just that the storylines haven't really aligned much for all 6 men there. Because you have the Miz, who supposedly have to defend the Intercontinental title without an opponent to face. And you have the Hardy Boys, who's now in a little bit of a limbo, partnering up with Kurt Angle's illegitimate son, Jason Jordan, who, yes, I will agree. Everyone has said their point. Yes, he is the wrong person in American Alpha to be pushed. Chad Gable is the glue that binds the American Alpha together. Mm-hmm. That's the guy. That's the go-to guy that you need to push, rather than Jason Jordan. And even if he, I don't know whether you guys have watched it, but even if he had shown a little bit of flash of charisma, Jason Jordan, that is, because he has appeared in Southpaw Regional Wrestling on season 2, and he did show flashes of charisma and flashes of character, but it's not enough to really convince me that he can be this charismatic asshat that we love to hate, like his illegitimate father, Kurt Angle. And yet,
yeah, but his to be fair, go on. I'm sorry, go on.
Okay, and I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be bad or it's gonna be terrible. As in it, this is just a match where 6 guys were thrown together just to create one match for the SummerSlam card. That's it. You were saying, Chris?
I think it's not. Kurt Angle is one of the most charismatic wrestlers of all time, though. Mm-hmm. Your goal can't be like Kurt Angle, because that's not really a replicable model. But the problem with Jordan is that he's not close at all. You can't even squint and say you can do the way Kurt Angle did it.
Yeah, agreed.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, but
there's nothing there but a good in-ring worker. And at this point, 90% of the people in WWE are good in-ring workers.
Including Natalia.
This is like 1995, where there's so few in-ring workers who are good that the ones who are great stand out. Everybody can wrestle these days, with few exceptions.
Great. Taker, what you were saying?
I said something because he said everybody is a good in-ring worker. I said including Natalia,
and who has no charisma. So
she's never had charisma.
It's a hard family trait at this point. None of them can, outside of Owen, rest in peace. But
Owen had charisma. Had more charisma in his pinky finger than Brett ever had his entire life.
Right.
True. True. The only time Brett was ever got over on with anything other than his in-ring was during the '97 Hart Foundation. I'm a heel in the U.S. and a face in Canada. And you know why that? You know what helped? He was going against, wait for it, Stone Cold Steve Austin. One of the most charismatic people this business has ever seen.
And also Michaels and H.
Yes.
We also remember Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he had more charisma off his dripping off in his sweat than
exactly. So it's
Bret Hart had
to get over. But there's no one. Jordan isn't going over. But back to Jordan. Jordan isn't facing somebody who can get him over by proxy of just being super charismatic. The Miz is not that guy.
No, the Miz can put him over on a singles match, and the only thing I can see happening is if we go to. Oh hell! It's not No Mercy. What's the next?
It actually is No Mercy.
Oh yes, it is No Mercy. Seeing Jason Jordan going against the Miz for the IC title, and because of the interference of the Miztourage, leading up to that match, the Hardy Boys come out and watch Jason Jordan's back to neutralize the Miztourage.
I could see that happening because
and then the Miz putting him over, because the Miz can put on a frickin' match with a broomstick, and it would put the broomstick over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think he could beat a pencil as well as Brian Pillman did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, Brian Pillman could put over a damn pencil.
True. Good point, Allie.
Point out. Okay, but in any case, I think the idea that TM has would be applicable because Jason Jordan supposedly looked better as a singles wrestler. Because right now the context of this one is that he's been lugged into a 6-person tag match with the Hardys and the Miz and the Miztourage. I mean, yes, I agree, because Jason Jordan hasn't shown an ounce of charisma and an ounce of character rather than he's just a good worker. And if he's partnered up with The Miz on a singles feud, it would generate interest because The Miz is a good talker, not an excellent one, but a good talker.
Can they restart negotiations with Shelton Benjamin, please, and put heel Shelton Benjamin with a heel Jason Jordan
and have like world's greatest tag team 2?
Yeah, or a new spin on the Varsity Club, like I know that was rumored.
Oh my God, you're talking old school there, Varsity Club.
Say, there's a name.
There's a name right there.
It's right there for you. I mean, it's two Midwest, younger, African American, great wrestlers. That if you put a heel Shelton Benjamin, which has worked, with a guy who's still green, a little green around the edges, Jason Jordan, but is tremendously talented. That's a great heel team that would work.
Yeah, bring back the gold standard, Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, aren't they? He had something wrong with his shoulder the last time they.
Yeah, there was something going on.
Yeah. And he supposedly has rehabbed it now, and they're about to sign him, from what I've been reading.
The last I heard is that they were going to sign him. The medical flag came up. They told him to go heal up. And honestly, I haven't heard of anything about him since
he said. I saw it last night. As a matter of fact, when I was at work, I saw it last night. Where the hell did I see it? Was it Wrestling News?
Mm-hmm.
I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I think find that in Wrestling News because I've read the rumors as well that WWE has in fact signed Shelton Benjamin, or in the process of signing Shelton Benjamin.
Right.
So that means in either sense he has, and quite possibly down the road they are going to sign a former Intercontinental Champion in Shelton Benjamin. So there's that.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. That they're going to do that with Benjamin. I thought that they were probably going to put him over on SmackDown with Gable.
No, I would rather see him go with. Now that I think about it, I'd rather see him go with Jordan because he could teach him how to heal and heal properly.
I mean, I think the thing is for me, I'm actually looking more forward to the match. I mean, the issues I have right now are with the various different characters. I have no interest in the Hardys whatsoever. I like Jordan, but I see the problems with his character, and I like to look at both sides of the coin in this situation. The Miz is a guy who every single time he gets put into an important top-of-the-card spot, he falls apart like a quarterback in the playoffs, who's just starting out in his first playoff game. And then you got the Miztourage. I'm not thinking Colin Kaepernick. I'm actually thinking, what was it?
Mark Sanchez?
No, I'm thinking Todd Collins.
Oh God!
Whoa. Oh God! There's
Whoa!
I could say something that'll really stick in your craw, Adam.
Please don't.
How about Art Schleicher?
You could get right the hell out, sir.
Is it odd that I actually know who that is? That's actually a quarterback I've heard of. Because
who tried to make it in the NFL but couldn't, and wound up in the AFL and said all kind of in the Arena Football League. Gee, that's a real league.
And then he was a scumbag the whole way.
Did he gamble or something, or run?
He's the only player, to my knowledge, who is banned for life from the NFL.
You're right.
That's amazing.
So what do we have?
But
Adam, you know me. I'm a Bama fan, so roll Tide.
This has been an interesting conversation.
You didn't think that football or Todd Collins would be mentioned on a wrestling podcast, but yet here we are.
Congratulations, Fizzy. That was perfect.
Wait a minute. Todd Collins and Art Schleicher.
And Mark Sanchez.
And I don't follow.
Well, at least I
have no idea what you're talking about.
Ambrose, you're not missing anything. Believe me.
No. At least, like I said, at least I didn't bring up Jay Cutler.
At least you're not missing anything. What's next, boys and girl?
Okay, We have added the last. I think it's the last pre-show event. It's the New Day Big E and Xavier Woods with Kofi Kingston as the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships versus the Usos.
The power of positivity, people.
What's that?
Repeat after me, Ambrose Alley. What were you saying?
Power of positivity is going to die.
Wow.
Love it. Are you
Well,
Team
you start us
Usos,
off.
Alley? Are you Team Usos, Alley?
You start us off, Allie.
I always have been.
Wow.
Love it.
Love it. Okay.
Love it. Go, Alley. Talk for a little bit.
Oh, I've the Usos, even when they first started, I've always been with them, and here I found the New Day. Their stick is just so old, so boring. It's the same thing. They haven't upped it. At least the Usos changed. They went to a heel persona.
Exactly. I was not a fan of the Usos when they were doing the face painting and the Islander entrance, and that didn't really speak to me. But this Usos, the Street Fighter Usos, and I talked about it last night, the fatter Usos who look like brawlers, just nasty old school brawlers. You know that this Usos speaks to me.
Well, we all know
this Usos is pretty great.
we all know who trained them.
Trained them. They're
Uncle
dead.
Eddie, Uncle Eddie.
Yeah, they're dead.
Uncle Eddie Fatu.
Yeah.
AKA Umaga.
Who doesn't get much more? I mean, yeah, exactly. And they come from a lineage who are just thick men like me, like Haku and the Barbarian. You know, just guys who will just show up and don't look ripped, who will just beat the crap out of you and then sit down and finish their beer. And that's exactly what I'm here for.
You go all the way back to Alpha and Sika with those.
Exactly.
I was going to bring up Wild Samoans.
Exactly. They are the Wild Samoans of 2017, and I love it. I hope they win. I don't think they're going to, but I hope they win because they are doing great work right now.
Well, dude, does anybody know which one had all
right. I'm done with the New Day.
Okay, I got a question. For the guys, and I think you'll know or Allie will know. Which one of the Usos is the one that has all the stuff in his grill on his teeth?
That I don't know. I can't tell them.
I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say Jimmy.
Because I have told this story before, and I'll tell it again.
Mm-hmm.
When the WWE came to my town, Dubuque,
okay,
I paid $107 for a ringside seat sitting on the frickin' rail in the heel corner, and I got into a verbal confrontation with one of the Usos, and he's the one that had his mouth with all the stuff, and he told one guy to shut up, and he told me to sit down, and I told him to make me.
Good for you. I love it. Old school heat.
And I made sure I stayed on my side of the rail. He reared back like he was going to hit me, and I turned my face and go, right here, asshole, right here.
Classic. Very classic. And to answer Fitzpatrick's question, yes. The one wearing the grill is Jimmy Uso. In fact, is Jimmy Uso.
Wow, got it right in the first try.
Nice.
Well, okay. Adam, what are your thoughts about this match?
I'm calling this match the match for the right to fight Alexander Wolfe and Killian Dane when they call up Sanity to go over to SmackDown. To me, I'm thinking New Day walks out of this match because they're the baby faces. I'm expecting, like I said, for Sanity to get the call up and for them to potentially be moved very quickly into a feud with the New Day. I know they're the ones being rumored who trashed the Fashion Files office, but I think with the SmackDown tag scene being a little lacking outside of New Day and the Usos, I think they're itching to call up Sanity at this point. Like CJ said, I loved the coked up Usos. They are fantastic. I liked this evolution of the Usos has been one of the best things really on WWE TV over the course of the last few years. To go from the Happy Islanders to this street gang, brawling style. They still high fly a little bit, but the Usos are just so much fun to watch. But like I said, fully expecting the New Day to come out of the SummerSlam. Still your SmackDown live tag champions. And I'm thinking they're going to be moved very quickly over to Wolfe and Dean.
I have a message for you, Adam. It comes from Legends Lover. She says, Miss Charlotte says hi.
Look, she bugs me in the nightly with that bullshit, and now she's going to come on the podcast and do it. Come on now.
Well, it's not a stretch that you are a huge fan of Charlotte, so she's gonna poke the fire somewhere. Come on.
She's got to poke the bear whenever she can.
Hey, I'm a Flair. I've been a Flair mark since about the day I started watching. And
is that Rick or just Charlotte? Or
both. It transferred, and just as a side, since we just mentioned it, please kick out Nature Boy. Please.
I was going to say we need to keep him in our thoughts and prayers that he gets well. As far as I understand, he's still being dialyzed.
Last I read, he's been. They've installed an external pacemaker.
Correct. Yeah, I saw that too.
And he's still on dialysis. He's a 67-year-old man who's lived 68, who's lived a very, very hard life. But 67 is still, I know, it's still too young, even for a guy who's lived like him. So, Rick, please, all of our thoughts are with you. Kick out of this one.
And I think everybody on the panel would agree with that.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly.
For me, I may not like Ric Flair, but I'm not going to wish death upon the man. I hope he gets better. And for those of you who are complaining that Charlotte's not on this card, please understand that her father's in the hospital at this point.
Yeah,
and I think that's the smartest move WWE could pull is to give her the time off to go be with her dad.
Mm-hmm.
But let me end. I know we were in the middle of a different subject, but I will say this. Extenuating circumstances aside, it doesn't look like Charlotte was ever going to be on this card. I find that laughable at best, dumb as shit at worst. You're keeping the SmackDown Women's Division has been Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Naomi, and two of them are off the card, doing nothing. Now, I understand Rick is in the hospital, and those extenuating circumstances aside, how they have botched that is really, really, I don't understand it.
I can understand it personally because Charlotte, again, this she would have been in a mixed tag match possibly, but because that was a small 20% chance of that happening. But
Right.
This Ric Flair being in the emergency room right now, that takes her off the card because she has to be with her family. Becky Lynch has been dealing with lingering injuries for the past few months, so there's that. She gets that time off. She gets to be at Takeover. She gets to be at SummerSlam, and I think that this worked out for the best for them. And now we have two really decent women's singles matches that we'll be talking about later on the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to deliver that message to you, Adam. But when I saw the text come in from her, I started giggling, muted my mic and was giggling. And I said back, okay. And then I told so when she listens to this show later, she'll hear that and she'll be laughing, going, "I made him go off yet again."
Hey, you got it. Hey, happy life, happy life. So
That's it. That's what I've been told. I'm
So
single.
who has talked about the Usos New Day? I think MDS did. Adam, you talked about it, and Kurt talked about it, right?
Yep, we all did.
Okay, so I guess that leaves me. And okay, Usos New Day. I have actually started to grow fond of the New Day once again, as far as them being on SmackDown has really freshened up their gimmick. And I think this match will surprise some folks. They had a really good match last time when they faced each other. The Usos in storyline right now, well, they're targeting the New Day's legs and trying to break them. So essentially, we have a situation where it might be the New Day have Big E and Xavier Woods, or Big E and Kofi Kingston. We do know that there is going to be a pairing somewhere. The card might change when it comes to the different New Day pairings. I think they might actually have Big E in this match this time around. The reason that they did the title change before SummerSlam was because the New Day had actually won the belts at SummerSlam a few years prior, so they didn't want to do a repeat of the New Day winning the belts again for a different brand this time around, SmackDown. The match itself, I think, is going to be very, very good. The Usos have become these murder machines of destruction in the tag division and have just this wonderful, wonderful personas of just these angry individuals who are tired of being overlooked, who are going to destroy everything around them. And with the unfortunate injury woes of the Revival, it's good that we have a team that can literally break people's bones right now.
I agree. I mean, it's nice to see the Usos change. I mean, they initially came up. Oh God, how long have they been on the roster, main roster now? How long?
2009, I think, is when they debuted.
Yeah, they debuted 2009, and Tamina was with them.
Yep,
and they were heels.
Mm-hmm.
Then they switched over to the face paint and became faces, and
well, I think
I
think they had the face paint originally when they were heels.
But to see them go back to the heel personas, which I think, in my opinion, with a lot of Samoan wrestlers, it works best.
Yep.
And, because like I said, they were trained by Uncle Eddie, who is Umaga, who was he was a freaking terror machine, period. He got over as a face, even though he didn't change his gimmick whatsoever. He just went out and killed people. So eventually, I see the crowd warming to the Usos in their heel persona and making them the anti-hero cool thing from the 90s happening. Because if you listen to the crowds now, he's starting to they're starting to get over, and they're starting to get more face pops. Like I said, I look at subtleties of all matches. And that's one of the subtleties that I'm picking up is that, or a whole body of work. And that's one of the subtleties I'm picking up is that the Usos are starting to get over as heels, and they're getting face pops.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's just the way it seems the world is working nowadays. If you look at it, most of the heels are getting face pops.
Well, if you look at John Cena, he's getting, and I said this yesterday, when his music first hits, everybody screams and hollers, and then all of a sudden half the crowd goes, "Oh shit, I got a boo," and then starts thinking that John Cena sucks, And same thing with Roman. The crowd pops initially, and then it's like, "Oh wait, I'm supposed to boo this asshole," So same thing.
Unfortunately, that is the landscape of the WWE universe as a whole. You tend to forget that you're supposed to boo the person, but then again, you're gonna go ahead and boo anyways. But isn't it obvious that people like to cheer on people that look cool and are badass, even if their alignments are heels, anyways? People will start to cheer. People will start to cheer these kind of characters because they're cool. They're badass. They don't take shits for anything. So
exactly.
They want.
Well, you look at.
I'm sorry. Go on, takers.
You look at the Usos ring gear. Okay, black battle dress uniform, camouflage utilities. I would say black. They're similar to what Roman Reigns is wearing. They're wearing the black shirts. Yes, it says day one is H or day one-ish.
Day one-ish.
Day one-ish. No, it's day one is H.
Day one is H.
Okay, fine. We'll stay that. We'll stick with that. But
okay,
there's a similarity between what the Usos are wearing and what Roman Reigns is wearing with the black flak jacket. I still say they should put a faction together of Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Nia Jax. They're all tied together by family.
Well, I think actually Nia is from that side of the Rock's family that no one talks about. I don't think Nia is Samoan.
Well, The Rock's not Samoan either.
Nia's Samoan, dude. She
Nia
survived. She's Samoan. Her and her mother survived a head-on car crash collision.
Fair
with minimum injuries. Only thing that was damaged was her knees.
Wow.
Yeah, the thing about it is that The Rock wasn't 100% Samoan, but he's been accepted by Samoan culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's actually very, very true.
Because small segue.
Don't mess with me about history of that family, man, because I have researched that Hawaii family very deeply. Thank you very much.
Well, here's the small segue. Even if you're half ethnicity on something, or even just quarter, you're still an ethnicity.
Yes.
No matter how small your percentage is. It's up to you whether you want to accept the fact that you are that ethnicity and you want to be proud of it, or you can just say, I'm just that. I have this and I have this. That's it. But I'm proud to be that.
Like I said, like I said, put Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Nia Jax in a faction and call it the Samoan Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have an argument on that later because we haven't really touched on that yet. But let's move on to
The main card.
We have the main card, folks. 10 matches. 10 matches. Good Lord. Most of them are also singles matches on this particular show. It doesn't look like the Raw Tag Team Champions are being who are the? Oh, yes, they are being defended. Let's see here. Which one folks do we want to go with first? Spin the dial here, and I think. Do you want to go with Styles Owens first?
Why not? That's the one that seems to cause a lot of controversy.
Oh, great.
I like controversy.
Yeah, and you're going to hear a lot of controversy from me on this one.
Go ahead, then. You start.
Okay, this feud has been a total disaster, folks. Two wrestlers who are fairly decent, AJ Styles and Kevin Owens. Some would say that they are probably in the top 5 in the company right now. This feud has been a total disaster for them. Every single time that they've gotten into the ring, it has been basically like watching an entirety of, like an entire moving company tripping over a pile of marbles. And now you added the
Botchamania match.
Well, yes, it's a Botchamania match, but it's even more Botchamania than usual because guess what? We have the guy who jumps out of helicopters and smashes around trash cans and wanted to ride on the giant roller coaster display at WrestleMania. Shane McMahon is your referee for this match. This will be a total disaster. I know that Shane has been a ref before, and he's actually trained in the art of refereeing, but again, this is a match that is going to force a Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon feud on our very eyes. And we're probably going to have to get our eyes replaced for that. Styles will have yet another inconsistent match with Owens, and this will basically be the Chris Jericho WrestleMania match all over again. And the guy is seriously hoping and praying that they give somebody better for him than Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has had to adjust his ring style because the guy has lost about 40 goddamn pounds over the last year and can't take the bumps that he used to be able to. AJ Styles is starting to have issues with wear and tear because he is 39 going on 40 years old and is having to work a WWE style and is being really, really the biggest reckless guy on that roster who isn't named Sasha Banks. This match will be fine for what it is for those who are fans of both wrestlers. For me personally, I am a fan of Kevin Owens, yes, but I also see the weaknesses in this guy's ring style. For Styles, it will be yet another match that hopefully he can get at least a decent match out of Owens. That is the best we can possibly hope for in this situation. Otherwise, it will be a total disaster on this card, which will probably be in the middle portion of the show, thankfully for some of us. Continue, folks.
Jesus, I don't know if anybody can come in after that.
All I'm gonna say, and then I have to unfortunately run because I'm meeting a friend to get a dog. So this is gonna be my last bit on this show.
Oh, damn. Okay.
No, I'm sorry, but he's got to do something with his family, so we have to get the dog relatively soon. So,
that's fine. That is fine.
I know. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm gonna say this before I sign off. if you had a shot every time Kevin Owens did a chin lock, you would have to get your stomach pumped. That seems to be his new. That seems to be his new gimmick: is lock in chin locks because he thinks that's how you get heat. That's not how you get heat, Kevin. You're too good at professional wrestling. Stop relying on the crutches.
Rollins KO.
Yeah, stop it. It's not really. It's not really affecting. It's not really helping you at all. It just makes me hate your matches. Not in the good way. Not in the oh man, he's a heel. I want to see him lose. In the, oh man, I think this guy's a shitty wrestler. I should never be thinking that about Kevin Owens.
But unfortunately, you are.
Exactly. I think we're getting a little fuckery in this match. And then that's how we're going to get to the Shane Owens SummerSlam or Survivor Series match.
I agree.
I see a cage match there.
Sure. I love an old school cage match.
And I'd love to see an old school bloody ass match between those two, just for shits and giggles.
Me too.
All right, CJ.
With that, I got to run. I'm going to listen later. I wish you all the best. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, guys. Thanks for putting up with me for an hour and a half.
All right, CJ. I will be in contact with you for future endeavors.
Absolutely. You know how to reach me, guys. On Twitter, @GitSavis. My door is always open if any of you want to reach out. Twitter for 2 Guys 1 Sport @2 Guys 1 Sport. Listen to Chris and I every Friday. I wish you all the best. You've all been great. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody.
All right. Have a good time.
Take it easy, CJ.
See you, CJ.
And he's out. Okay.
Yeah, he
so
had to go.
Yeah. So
all right, Adam. You can speak on this now.
You know,
you just don't know when I'm coming to you, do you?
It says something in this day and age. As a professional wrestler, if you cannot get up and must get yourself up and muster some sort of give a damn for wrestling, being in a title program with AJ Styles in 2017, that's a problem. I know a lot of people have varying opinions about the one known as Jim Cornette, but Jim Cornette has ended up being spot on about Kevin Steen / Owens, about this lackadaisical effort he puts in sometimes. We've all seen Kevin Owens rise to the occasion, and he's easily one of the top 10 wrestlers in WWE, in top 20 on the whole face of the planet. The problem is these damn chin locks, this talking to him trying to work the crowd for heat, but he just comes off like a jackass. I don't care what you have to say to me while you're in chin lock number 7 in your 17-minute match, regardless of who you're working with. And then now you're throwing in Shane McMahon. You know what, guys? If they are so concerned about what Shane McMahon's doing in this match, put the damn strap on Shane. Because he's the only one who's receiving any of the focus. It's not about the 2 great workers in the match. It's about Shane McMahon. So if that's how it's going to be, make it a triple threat. Why are we messing around with this special referee nonsense?
Because he's a man.
But why would you want Shane McMahon even anywhere near the U.S. title?
I don't. But this feud has not been about AJ versus Kevin. This feud has been about Shane McMahon.
He's doing the Vince McMahon fucking, pardon my language, but you know what? This show is not going to be PG or PG-13, guys. I might as well make that stipulation right now. Feel free to use whatever language you want.
Sure.
Anyway, Shane is pulling the old Vince, I'm going to insert myself into this feud just to fuck it up.
It's beyond nonsense, but this match will be given plenty of time on the card, and I fully expect at least a passable match out of these 2. But that's only if Kevin Owens gives a damn. And if he doesn't, then I'm sorry, AJ can't carry both Kevin and Shane McMahon to an interesting match at SummerSlam. He can't.
No.
Unfortunately, again, I have to agree on that one.
You know, my take on this match is that, yeah, I understand why Daniel made Shane the special guest referee. You know, technically, Owens, when he shoved Kyoto to the floor, he should have been suspended right there on the spot, which I'm surprised didn't happen, because wasn't it Baron Corbin that roughed up an official on talking smack and got suspended for a week?
TM, that requires attention to continuity, and that's something this company hasn't done right in 15 years.
Shut your pie hole.
In fairness, I think the GM was away having to deal with the state of Arizona being destroyed by baby mode.
Yeah, but that's true.
Again, that's true.
Yeah.
The state of Arizona or the state of Oregon or state of Washington?
State of Arizona. They had the birth in Arizona.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's right. She's from Phoenix or Scottsdale. I know exactly where that is.
Okay. Go ahead.
But getting back to what, you know, and like I said, Adam, shut your pie hole. You know, let me live in my fantasy world of continuity, all right?
But that's the frustrating thing, and I'm sorry I'm stepping on your toes here, but when we as fans have to try to search and find the continuity, that's a problem. It should be right there for all of us to see. You're right. The second that the hands were put on Mike Chioda, suspension should have been handed down, because that would have made sense. But instead, we're getting a McMahon special referee.
Yep. This match, to me, is going to be a nuclear holocaust dumpster fire.
Ooh.
Wow. Bold words.
And I will better yet, I will use if it is what I think it's going to be that night, because I will be watching bits and pieces of the pay-per-view when I'm at work.
Okay.
And in the nightly, if I see the match being what I think it's going to be, and Adam, you've seen it before, as have you, MDS, in the nightly. What is it? It's from Terminator, where one of the woman character, I can't think of her name right now, is
Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor.
Where Sarah Connor is at the chain link fence and vaporizes after the nuclear explosion.
So you're gonna basically watch the world burn after the match.
Like I did after Jinder Mahal won the WWE Championship.
Greatest moment in the history of our sport, ladies and gentlemen.
It was the greatest moment, because the internet wrestling community totally melted to hell down.
Well, I didn't. I actually enjoyed the win of Mahal winning the belt.
I forgot. That's right. You and I sat in a daily that next day and ate popcorn and watched everybody bitch.
Sure. But like at the same time, I think honestly, I'm not as upset about Shane being included into this match as Adam is about the situation, because Owens and Styles have quite frankly tripped up enough as is in the previous builds of their feud, and adding Shane onto the bonfire will just make it a more interesting bonfire.
Well, the thing is that I'm looking at this is that in a couple of matches that both AJ Styles and Kevin Owens have had, Kevin Owens has slipped into mailing it in.
Yeah, well, at the same time, the guy did lose about 40 pounds, and
but that's still no excuse.
I know it's not an excuse, but the guy's having to adjust to his in-ring style, and he's having, you know, all of the injuries and all the bumps that this guy has taken since about 2000 to 2005, and all throughout the years of his wrestling career are finally starting to haunt this guy. He's a 33-year-old man who's 32, 33, who's a guy who has the body of a 45-year-old at this point.
So you're basically saying he's another Mick Foley who overworked his body, taking the insane bumps that's going to shorten his career by about 10 years.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, basically, that could basically apply to every wrestler who debuted from the year 1999 to about the year 2009, when concussion protocols were less strict, protocols involving safety and bumps were less strict. I mean, thankfully, the one thing that I have noticed is that, things are slowly improving on both the independent scene and in the main promotions about all of the various different injuries and ailments that have happened over the course of professional wrestling's history.
True. Ambrose, what do you got to say about this match?
About this particular match,
Yeah, this particular match.
I feel sorry for AJ because he I feel that he's going to get shafted in performance-wise from this, because I just love watching AJ work. But Owens is not going to help him at all, and I think the belt's going to be staying on AJ, because either way, when you look at the not the Universal, excuse me, the WWE belt, it's going to go to a non-United States citizen. It's either going to be Jinder or Nakamura. So they need to keep the belt on AJ.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely.
That'll be the result that everyone would have to accept him on that, because that's how you move Kevin Owens into a program with Shane McMahon, unfortunately. And
Or you can try to move Kevin Owens into a program with Shinsuke.
it's an option, but
Although the program I really want to see is Nakamura, AJ Styles.
Yes.
That will be
a money match.
Oh my God, they'll just print money.
That is a WrestleMania main event waiting to happen.
I see. Oh
if
God.
they book it correctly, I hate to be the one who pops the balloon sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
Personally, I've seen this match plenty of times in New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I'm not really all that interested in seeing it in WWE. But
I've never seen it, so allow me to have it. God damn it!
Of course.
A lot of people who don't watch New Japan, and I'm one of them. Of course, we haven't seen it, so we want to see it.
Oh yeah.
I'd have to agree with the guys. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
This is on the far future. Yes, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura would be one of the most interesting matches that you want to see on WWE. For those of you folks who hasn't really watched NJPW at all.
Mm-hmm.
But getting back into the context of this matchup with AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, I think that I don't have that much hate. I'll share Fitzpatrick's view on this, because I don't see that there's a huge issue with Shane McMahon being propped into this as a special guest referee, and it's going to be a run by the numbers kind of match, because you have to remember that both AJ Styles and Kevin Owens have been doing this stick for about 10 plus years now, and we can already see that these two are getting to the point where the damage that they have done to their body due to their hard-hitting style on Kevin Owens' side and high-flying maneuvers on AJ Styles' side have begun to show, and it's not good.
No.
So in a sense, on a logical business standpoint, WWE might have seen this and is trying to milk every single dollar that they can out of these two before they would say, okay, Styles, Owens, I think your time with us is up, unfortunately.
Or they just put him on IR for 6 months and then write him off and then re-debut him back, a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an option, but
they could do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's how I see it. I think on a match point, I think there would be. It's going to be a decent match. You're not going to see anything special out from these two. You're going to see a by the numbers kind of thing. You're going to see every single move that Kevin Owens has pulled. Yes, unfortunately, Adam, we're going to see a lot of chin locks, a lot of resting holds, maybe a little bit of Kevin Owens berating the crowd again, trying to amp up the heat. Might not make AJ Styles laugh, like on the same point as he made Roman Reigns laugh once.
Oh
but
shit! Oh shit! I could see this now. You just put a visual in my head that is going to stick for a while.
What
Kevin
is it?
Owens running it. That's why I should be the champ. That's why I'm the man. Blah blah blah. And AJ looks at him and says, "Really?" And just starts laughing.
It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy thing that you can see happening. But on the bright light, it's a SummerSlam. I hope that it won't happen. But if it happens, it's going to be an amusing botchamania scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a strong 10 to 15 minute match, no more, no less. And to be honest, it's a filler match. I could
All right,
say
who goes over?
Who goes over?
Styles.
It's
Styles.
obviously Styles. Allie?
Definitely, it's going to go with Styles on this one.
I'll go with Styles as well, so it's unanimous. Now, let's go on. I know there's a match that Ambrose Alley wants to talk about because she has told me this on Twitter. Let's just, we're going to go in random order because, it's going to work because we don't know how long her internet's going to last. She's already lost it once. And welcome back, by the way.
Thank you.
Let's go with Am Rollins versus Cesaro. And Ambrose, you can start.
Oh, where do I start on this one? This is the match I've been waiting for. Actually not miss at all. And I really expect to see a lot hitting, brawling, and then some really good technical moves.
Okay.
That's a very interesting match. And of course, Ambrose is going to walk away with the belt.
Making Dean Ambrose a Grand Slam titleist.
Yeah. He's going to be I think he's going to be the first Grand Slam title holder, Grand Slam champion for the Shield. Second.
He'd be the second in WWE history. The first one was Chris Jericho.
Wow.
The man of 1,004 holds. Armbar.
First.
And Big Show, I think, is a Grand Slam champion as well.
Is he?
So is Brian.
I think Shawn Michaels was it, but I think I was trying to say that in the scope of the Shield on both Dean Ambrose.
He'll be the first one.
He'll be the first Grand Slam on the 3.
Yeah, because it'd be easier for him to get a tag than or Reigns to get the IC belt for a while.
The question I had for you, Ambrose, is this: how hard did you mark out when the fist bump happened Monday night?
Every other pair of pants I had in here went out the window, for one. I was on cloud 9. I was dancing, seeing the dog.
I bet the dog was looking at you going, "What's wrong with you?"
Pretty much. Pretty much. She wasn't sure what was wrong with me.
Yeah, pants. I think on that moment, everybody's pants flew off. What about you, Adam? Did your pants flew off when that happened?
No, not mine didn't. But I was at the pop. That crowd pop was easily one of the best pops we've seen in what feels like forever. I'm happy to see these guys get back together. I think we were starting to see their faults as singles wrestlers starting to come up a little bit. Putting them as a tag team, getting that Shield nostalgia going, I think is perfect. I fully expect them out of this match, I will say, and I know TM, you'll love this, these two teams together feel like the perfect combination to put together an old 1986 rock and roll Midnight Express kind of match. Solid tag team wrestling, cutting off the corner, beating the crap out of the guy in the ring, hot tag, crowd goes nuts. Ambrose and Rollins walk out of the Barclays Center, your new tag team champions.
All right.
Fizz? Oh, Fizz isn't there. MDS.
Okay. Okay. Again, I'll have to take a leaf out of Fitzpatrick's partner, Sal. where I think I am enjoying this because he has already said that Dean Ambrose is already in the middle of a blooming tsundere love affair with Seth Rollins on this sense.
MDS, I think you might be nearly killing Adam with laughter here.
I mean, come on.
The shipping is strong.
I'm trying to avoid the shipping connotation, but I think we're gonna have to agree that
you're too late.
Who's the receiver is the question.
Who's the receiver?
Rollins.
Are they? I mean, have they gotten to the tsundere stage of chucking vending machines at one another and angrily yelling?
I think they have reached that point because you already seen that when Rollins puts out the fist bump, Dean Ambrose says no, and when Ambrose did the same, Seth Rollins said, "Really? When you screwed me over one time, fuck you," and just leaves. And then we have that moment. This week where they both fist bump, and I have to agree with Adam. That was one of the most thunderous pops that we heard in quite a while. Mm-hmm. We are all waiting for that Shield reunion, and this is one of them. This is one of the moments that appeases to most of us Shield fans. And so, yes, I think they are in a position where they are chucking, I think, not just refrigerators, but even microwave ovens and kitchen sinks at each other. So there's that. And to answer the ultimate question, I think Rollins is the top and Ambrose is the bottom.
Oh, damn it.
I think Renee might have to say something about that.
Okay.
And she's Canadian, so she's probably going to burst in with a chainsaw and try to cut up Rollins into little bitty pieces.
Go ahead, Ambrose. You got something to say. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Hey, you there?
We're waiting for you.
Here.
Yeah.
You said you had something to say. Go ahead.
No, I can just see Renee coming in going, I choppy your pee-pee.
In the same scenario where Val Venus got his chopped by Mr. Sakamoto, I think?
Namaguchi.
Choppy his pee-pee. Okay.
Okay.
Has this officially gone off the rails?
We're going.
Yes.
You know what?
We're going there.
Hey, that's what this is all about. We go off the rails all the time. Fizz, what do you think it is of this match?
I'm glad MDS went first before me because I had to take a drink of water for 1 second. Okay, this match, Cesaro and Sheamus versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Great. Yeah, unfortunately, for those of you who might not know me, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of either Ambrose or Rollins. And unfortunately, I'm not exactly a big fan right now of Cesaro and Sheamus at this point. They've had 2 doldrum matches with Dr. Frankenfurter and his assistant Igor in various different tag team shenanigans, which has bored me of their acts so far. Unfortunately, Scott Dawson decided to tear a bicep, and now we're stuck with Dean and Seth. Thanks, Revival. Now I'm stuck with these 2. Although, in fairness, Seth and Dean in a tag team is the best spot for them on the card right now. Both of these guys have had various different issues at the top end of the card over the last couple of years. Seth more so than Dean. And I think at this point, a tag team run would do them some good. And heck, you know, the eventual... I hate to bring this up this early, but the eventual breakup angle will be extraordinarily fun because we'll finally see Dean Ambrose as a heel beating the literal tar out of Rollins. As for the match itself, I'm actually not looking forward to this match. You know, I'm actually thinking that this match will probably be as inconsistent as Styles and Owens. But then again, I'm a positive pessimist with low expectations about the majority of the matches on this card. So, Adam, do you got a point?
Well, I just wanted to hop in there and say, you know, as a heel, we've been waiting for heel Dean Ambrose for what feels like forever now.
Uh-huh.
It's time. It's time for Dean Ambrose to make that turn.
Yes, it is.
All right. There you go. That's the answer.
I would agree with that. Now, this match to me is going to be interesting to say the least. Do we see Ambrose and Rollins win the titles and Ambrose immediately beat the holy living shit out of Rollins with a chair? Why not?
I think that would be fun. I think that could be a fun turn. But as I said last night when I was listening to Two Guys, One Sport, you have to ride this wave of that pop, that initial pop and joyous reaction in Boston.
I'm gonna bring something up here real quick because something I saw and it was in the nightly last night, and I think you put it up, Adam.
Okay.
We got a 4-person lifeboat that we're gonna send out to sea forever.
That one.
Name 4 wrestlers you want to put in it and send away. Adam?
Nia Jax, Baron Corbin, Bray Wyatt, and well, I forget who my 4th was when I initially answered this question, but I'll say it's time to put Dolph Ziggler in the lifeboat and get him the hell out of here.
Ambrose Alley.
For Natalia for one.
Okay.
Gender for another.
Okay.
Yes, yes, as you guys can tell, I do not care for gender.
Okay.
No kidding.
And I really hate to say this because I was always a fan of his when he came up from NXT. He's just turned me off lately, and that is Baron Corbin. He's lost me. Baron Corbin's lost me.
Okay.
That's 3.
And the 4th one, just those 3. Because ADR is already gone, so I don't have to worry about it.
What?
That was perfect, Allie. That was perfect.
That was perfect.
Are you going to put Paige in? Oh, okay.
Are you going to put Paige in the boat?
No.
Because Paige shouldn't be around Del Rio to begin with.
That's a whole other thing we'll talk about later.
Right.
Yes. Okay, fine.
Your 4th person?
Okay.
Listen.
Who?
Just those 3.
Okay.
You need okay. Fizz, your 4 candidates to go in the lifeboat, never to be seen again.
Okay. Probably going to go very differently than what most folks are going to be thinking. First up on the list of people that I should launch into the lifeboat, first up is Kyle O'Reilly. Second,
Well, they got to be died. They got to be WWE.
Kyle is WWE. He's signed NXT.
He's
Okay.
signed an NXT.
Okay, so Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, he's also signed to NXT.
Yes.
Seth Rollins.
Wow.
And finally, we have ourselves, AJ Styles.
Ooh.
Okay. Understandable. I think I could see
MDS, you're next.
Okay. This is going to be hard. I'd say Baron Corbin for 1. I'd say Adam Cole for 2. 2 for 2. I'm gonna go on a limb and say Kevin Owens would be the 3rd.
Ooh.
And okay, this is gonna be hard on the last one. Dolph Ziggler should be the 4th one.
I was juggling between, putting Dolph on a little dinghy, making him the 5th person on the boat, but the thing is that folks
send him out with a life jacket.
just a tiny little dinghy will do on the lifeboat, and folks, I'm going on this based on my tier list. I have a tier list when it comes to wrestlers. I have like, dislike, indifferent to, and hate. At this point, the only 2 wrestlers that are currently on the hate list, and this has to be active current wrestlers. No retired wrestlers on this list. That's a completely separate one that I have to need to get organized. Currently, those two are AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. So those two automatically get on the boat. The dislike list of the pool of people on that list, I'd have to pull O'Reilly and Cole on there.
Okay. Now, my 4 are as follows.
I'm going to guess.
How did I know?
Wait a minute. The Miz, Dolph Ziggler,
Okay.
Baron Corbin.
Okay.
Oh, who was my 4th? Shit.
Can I pull a guess on your 4th?
Go ahead. So I'm trying to remember who it was. I put them out in the room last night. Put them out in the thread.
Oh, okay. Okay. Ellsworth.
Yes,
You
James
put
Ellsworth.
on 4th.
That's right. James Ellsworth, chinless turtle.
Not until Becky takes his arm.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
true.
James Ellsworth. Those are my 4 to go on a lifeboat, never to be seen again.
Fun. A lot of different thoughts and opinions on it, but I think it's going to be a nice segue to our next match, which is John Cena versus Baron Corbin, considering that almost all of us selected Baron Corbin as one to be put on the lifeboat. Don't you think?
Yes, and I'll start.
Okay.
Mr. Corbin
Yes.
was made out to be Wile E. Coyote of WWE on Monday. He was more concerned about John Cena at ringside than the guy in front of him, which was Jinder Mahal. The only thing that was missing from that whole match was the sign saying, "Oh no," and the anvil hitting him in the head. He was owned. He's been being owned by everybody on social media, Instagram, Twitter. He was owned by John Cena. He was owned by Nikki Bella. Thank you very much. And Dave Meltzer owned him.
Yes, I'd have to agree on that one.
He was made a complete fool of, and his character, as it stands right now, is dead, buried 6 feet under the ground. Time to send him back to NXT, shave his head, put a mask on him, and make him something else. Because he just ain't got it as this character.
So you want to make him Texas Red?
No! Don't insult that legacy of Mark Calloway, damn you! How dare you!
You said put a mask on the man. There aren't a lot of mask options available. I mean, nobody's taken the mantle of Texas Red in about 35 years.
But everybody who knows wrestling like I do knows that that was a Mark Calloway character. Therefore, it is sacred.
But you can't really deny the fact that Texas Red was one of his worst characters.
Right, but it's still sacred. It is in the Undertaker realm of sacred.
Oh, God.
It's either that or the Christmas creature taker.
Do what?
Christmas creature.
Yes, Chris. Anything that has to do with Mark Calloway, Undertaker, is sacred in my book.
So Kane
It's
isn't?
untouchable.
Okay. So Mean Mark Callis doesn't really count.
Mean Mark Callis is one of his better characters next to the Undertaker.
But that would be an average part. And oh my God, you guys just made me cry out laughter. So tear up and laughter.
All of you were laughing at me, but you know what? I give I give 0 fucks.
I'm honestly not trying to laugh at you,
matter.
buddy. I'm not trying to laugh at you, buddy. I don't think you expected Texas Red to come up in this conversation.
No, I did not. But damn you anyhow, Fizz. How long is it going to be before we have you back on the regular show, damn it? For that. You are on probation, young man.
Oh God! I mean, okay. I'll relent. Adam, what do you think about this?
Cena goes over, by the way.
Well,
Cena goes up. Okay.
I'm going.
Go on, Ed.
I'm going to go ahead and go out here on a hot take because we have two things competing: SummerSlam jobber Cena and 6 feet under Baron Corbin. I can see in WWE's twisted logic that they wanted to take the briefcase off Corbin, but to get his heat back, he beats John Cena at SummerSlam. I can very easily see them have Corbin go over Cena to get Corbin something back, which, if they do that, I agree with our good friend Tanya Rogers in saying if Corbin beats Cena at SummerSlam, beating John Cena means nothing anymore.
Exactly.
But I'm going to say I think John Cena will win, but I would not be shocked at all to see Corbin walk out with the W.
Okay. Ellie, any quick thoughts on this one?
I see Cena going over on this one. I really do.
Okay.
Why?
That would be it.
Why do I see Cena going over on this one?
Yep.
We one last big hurrah for SmackDown before he goes to Raw.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
And Fizz, I want to say this right now. I had no offense intended to you. I hope I did not offend you in any way.
How did I get offended? Huh?
I'm just asking. I'm just saying. If I offended you, I apologize.
Oh no,
publicly.
you didn't offend me at all, buddy. You didn't offend me at all.
But you understand. But you understand. I am very passionate about Mark Calloway and Undertaker and all that.
Oh nah, man, I'm not offended at all.
Considering the fact that his name blatantly states that he's one of Taker's minions. Impressive.
He's got a pension and everything for all the druid entrances and sacrifices.
Exactly.
I also can take souls. Damn it.
Hey, remember Ambrose was a druid.
Oh yeah, true. Ambrose
was a druid. Reigns was a druid. Rollins was a druid. Punk, when he first got there, was a druid.
I think we can safely posit that almost everyone on the main roster, or who has been on the main roster, has been one of Undertaker's druids, or Undertaker's been part of Undertaker's entrance in a way.
Even the women.
Even the women tend to agree. Which is fine.
What's your take on this match, Fizz?
I'm actually looking forward to this match. I think this will probably be one of Baron Corbin's better matches that he's had this year. And I think that the problem has been with Corbin is that, remember, this guy's an ex-football player. You have to put a little bit of a handicap on a golfer's handicap on ex-football players, because sometimes they do really good, and then there's certain times of the year where they get really, really tired and really, really exhausted from all the fatigue and injuries that they've suffered over their football careers. And this is just one of those times for Corbin where he's exhausted, you know, because this is around this time period you have spring training for football players. So there's going to be a natural, you know, recession of ability. In this case, I think Baron Corbin's going to do very well because he's going against welcome to the John Cena Show, where you will probably be either one of two things. One, you might actually, small percentage of chance here, actually beat the guy and continue on your merry way and then have to go in a continuous feud against him. Or John Cena will beat you and you will end up being tossed aside into the cast-offs alongside everybody else who's gotten beaten apart by John Cena. Straight edge chipmunks notwithstanding. So, in this situation, we have John Cena, who has had a continuous losing streak at SummerSlam, facing against Baron Corbin, who has been losing a lot of steam and momentum and just lost the Money in the Bank briefcase because Baron Corbin decided to pull, as the panel has said, Wile E. Coyote, super genius. He needs a business card as well. Baron Von Corbin, banterer and super genius extraordinaire.
Okay, I have one bone to pick with you.
Okay.
You said that we have to give a handicap to Baron Corbin because he's a former professional football player. Okay, let's see. Did we give a handicap to Wahoo McDaniel? Did we give a handicap to the Big Cat Ernie Ladd? Did we give a handicap to Dick the Bruiser or the Crusher for being professional football players who turned to professional wrestling and did quite well for themselves?
Those guys were actual professional football players, though. The counterpoint there is they were actual football players who actually played in the seasons. Guys like Baron Corbin were in spring training and training camp and barely played any actual games.
And they were on the reserve roster.
Reserve roster, practice squad, however you want to call it, of the 53-man roster.
Exactly. But how can you say we have to give him a handicap when those four names I just mentioned were professional football players, played in the NFL, during the offseason wrestled, went back to training camp and played a full season, and finally decided, hey, I make more money in professional wrestling than I do in football. Let me do this.
Well, they got past those. They got past that golfer's handicap. Baron Corbin hasn't gotten past the golfer's handicap at this point.
And I don't think he ever will.
I'm honestly a little more optimistic about Corbin because I've always liked the guy, and the guy has a lot of brownie points with me for beating the liver-loving Jesus out of Austin Aries multiple times.
I can give you that.
I mean, true. His stick was before all this happened. His stick was that he is one of those guys who hated people from the independent scene, especially Austin Aries on that matter. But on a counter on this side of the coin, I too am going to side with Fizz on this one. I'm looking forward to seeing where Baron Corbin would take his path here alongside John Cena following his major setback. True, his Wile E. Coyote antics has been pretty much hilarious, and where you got a deer in the headlights moment where you can't decide on who you hate most. Jinder, who has the championship title that you should be pitting, or John Cena, who's laying out outside the ring with nothing else to do. I think the answer is obvious there.
John Cena.
Yes. You went with John Cena, who's my goodness. I think the week where that happened, John Cena was laughing all the way to his bank, even if someone was.
He was paid well, of course.
He was played well, but in a sense, on this SummerSlam card on the matchup, I think it's going to be. I think I'm interested in watching how this match unfolds rather than I'm predicting who wins or who loses in this match, because if you put John Cena on a losing streak, I don't think it matters to him at this point because he's already established on that side. The only question that I have is where would WWE go forward with Baron Corbin? Persisting the rumors that WWE has apparently pulled out from supporting Baron Corbin behind the scenes after the ethering that John Cena gave him this week. Who knows? Probably.
Well, the thing is this, is that it doesn't seem that Vince is having a hard on an orgasm over Baron Corbin anymore.
Unfortunately, that's transferred to Big Cass.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that match soon enough.
Yes, we'll get to that.
Well, let's segue to that then.
Well, before we talk about that, let's mention the other factor that we need to talk about. This situation is with SummerSlam. We have John Cena's losing streak against Baron Corbin suddenly losing his push. We also have to factor in that Nikki Bella and Brie Bella will be at ringside for this match. So Baron Corbin is either going to lose one of two things. He's either going to be Bella hammered out of the Barclays Center by Nikki Bella, or he is going to lose an arm to Brie Bella because she still has the last of her post-pregnancy cravings for human flesh.
Well, then the thing about this tattoo is you forget one thing, Viz. And we talked about this, and I have to credit Legends Lover for this.
Okay.
and MDS, you know exactly where I'm going.
Okay.
She said that Baron Corbin got neutered.
He did. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. They cut cut everything.
They cut his nuts off and fed him to him over a rotisserie spit of about 5 hours.
Here's the short version of it. The lone wolf got his nuts cut, and he's now a neutered dog.
Well, I mean, and in this situation, it's unfortunate that Baron Corbin just is losing his push at this point, because I think that there is something, like I've said, there is something there, you know. But it's just, we'll have to see where this goes. Anyway, so next up is the Cash Show match, right?
Yes.
Let's go there. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Doc, MDS, go for it.
Okay, Big Show and Big Cass. Why do we even need to see this match? And why is Big Show being put in this kind of segment and in this kind of match? This is your cornerstone, WWE. He has been one of the longest. He's been part of one of the longest serving talent in the WWE roster. And this is how you treat him? Put him in the match with Big Cass? It's questionable, number one. And number two, why do we need to see someone suspended above in the ring in a shark cage? Rib notwithstanding, even with people saying that this is a rib on Enzo Amore as a punishment because he is afraid of heights, apparently. So you stick him in a shark cage and dangle him above the ring where two big men will fight it off on who gets to own Enzo Amore. This is going to be a match that happened. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Allie, do you want to take this next part?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. It's going to be a good bathroom break.
Okay.
And I just...
Bathroom break and monkey break.
Yeah, I just don't... This match is going to be... It's going to be even less than meh. It's going to be this match.
I mean, I agree. It's not going to be one of those matches where you stick in your seat to just watch it. It's just, oh, it happens. I have little to zero investment. I don't know about the others, this storyline, because sure, we kind of see the point where Enzo Amore cannot hang with these guys, but so does Big Cass. Big Cass cannot carry a tune with the microphone without Enzo Amore.
Here's
Adam,
fuck this match.
No, thank you.
That was blunt.
Look, it's first of all, I have nothing to say about Enzo Amore in this cage. And first of all, why are we putting the babyface in the cage?
Because he's Enzo Amore.
That's just about it.
Okay, great. But I mean, like I said before, if we're the ones trying to find the logic in the show, that's a problem. There's no logic in putting Enzo Amore in the cage, because in all honesty, what effect is Enzo Amore going to have on two big hosses like the Big Show and Big Cass? So that doesn't make sense. But what I wanted to say about this match is, first of all, Cass goes over. He has to. If you want to get anything out of this, Cass has to go over.
All right.
But I'm looking at this. Vince McMahon is looking at Cass, and he thinks he sees Kevin Nash, but if in reality he doesn't even have Test.
Okay, I unfortunately, yes, I have to agree.
And before I Viz, I'm sorry. I just want to interject. Did anybody see the picture of Big Cass and Braun Strowman at Yankee Stadium with Aaron Judge? Did anybody have?
I did.
I did.
Yeah, there was one other person involved with that photo. You forgot the 5 Foot of Fury.
Oh, Jesus, Adam. Oh, Jesus. Lock your doors. Don't forget about Alexa Bliss.
And Alexa. But isn't it?
I can't stand her, but that's another whole story.
You hush.
All right, go on, Adam.
Did anyone notice how Mr. I'm 7 feet tall and you can't teach that is barely a hair bigger than the 6'7" Aaron Judge?
I did.
I saw that.
I saw that. People were commenting that yes, Aaron Jordan looks a lot taller than Big Cass.
Aaron who?
Aaron Judd. He's
Aaron
a baseball player for the Yankees.
Yeah. And
this is one of those times where I wish Vince would take some pride in his product and not expose his 7 foot giant by having him stand next to the 6'7" guy, and everyone go, "Oh, okay, he's just another guy." Then
was Judd standing on the mound? Is what my question is.
No, they were standing off to the. They were standing on the other side of the
mound.
On the chalk on the side over by the dugout. So they're all three on flat land, and you see the 6'8" Braun Strowman. Who's standing next to the 6'7" Aaron Judge, and then the supposed 7 foot tall Big Cass, and they're all three about the same height. So you've immediately killed all the mystique, if you've seen that photo, of Big Cass. So now you've taken away his gimmick. He's 7 foot tall. His gimmick is shot. So what do you have with him now?
He's just a good worker.
I wouldn't necessarily put the words "good worker" and "Big Cass" next to each other in the same sentence, but hey, you do you.
Yeah. He's just, well, you have to admit, like 90% of the talent right now are good workers, even though they will not put on an excellent match almost every single day. They know how to wrestle. That's just about it. The only question is that how charismatic, how electrifying, how attractive a personality is the talent on the roster. And sadly to say, there's not many who can carry a character. And Big Cass is not one of them, unfortunately.
I will say I'm happy to see he's ditched some of that very deep Brooklyn accent that he was doing when he was doing Enzo and Cass. I appreciated his promo on Monday much more, that he was talking like a normal human being.
Yes, and let's not forget, this guy is an intelligent person.
Oh, I'm not saying he's dumb or something. I'm just saying his gimmick is shot. He's not a great talker. He's so in the ring, but for some reason he's going to get this singles push, and I'm very, very hesitant about it. But Fizzy, what do you got?
Okay, folks. If you had me liking this match on your bingo card, then check that off at this point, because that is exactly how I feel about this match. I'm actually shockingly looking forward to the Giant versus Giant match on the SummerSlam card. I tend to typically like spectacle matches like these, and, usually when matches that are viewed as horrifically bad or terrifying to most people, I look at them like, okay, this should be fun. Let's see how it goes. The worst it is that it will be a horrible match. The best it will be is that it will be at least decent. And in this situation, we have The Big Show, who's one of the more experienced workers on this roster currently, facing off against Big Cass, who has finally ditched old roadkill hair Enzo Amore and has decided for keeps to do something even more better, to make sure that he actually wins this thing by locking him in a shark cage and putting him 20 feet in the air, so that he can keep track of where he is, and also to keep Enzo from interfering to keep the Big Show for winning this match. At this point, I'm actually looking forward to the Big Cass singles push, because given all of the issues that Enzo Amore has had lately backstage and with his co-workers, I think Cass distancing himself at this point from Enzo is a good call. I also think at this point that why not go for it? It's about almost football season right now. Let's go for some experimentation. Let's see if Cass can make the singles one work. I generally actually like the guy's promos. I generally think that he's a very good speaker, and he's starting to find his own character again. Although the Brooklyn accent thing, that's actually a natural accent because he's from Queens.
I think he toned it down a little bit on Monday, which I appreciated because after a while it's sort of that the thing that they
on you is what you're saying?
It grated on me, but it also, here's a guy who went to NYU, but that very deep accent that he was obviously accentuating didn't make him sound like an intelligent person. And he didn't talk like a normal person, which is an issue for everybody on the roster. So his promo on Monday, I think, was a really big step up in what he had been doing with Enzo and Cass.
I thought that the breakup promo that he did with Enzo was a fantastic promo, and I think he's been very consistent on the microphone. I think, in fairness, his pitch does get grating to certain people, and it definitely was in your case, Adam. As far as this match is concerned, it will be a spectacle match. There will probably will probably continue the Enzo Cass Big Show angle of the Giants, and we'll see where this goes from here. I'm actually looking forward to what they're going to be doing for this on Raw.
I don't know what they're going to do because I don't see any payoff of this match. Now, what happened on Monday to show? What happened on Monday to show with his hand being kayfabe broken
by the Good Brothers, no less.
By the Good Brothers, no less. The question I have with that is: are they freaking heel or are they face?
Evidently, they're heel. But like you said, after cutting that promo in DC, which was a face promo,
exactly,
and then coming out and breaking the Big Show's hand, kayfabe. What are they?
Right,
tweener.
For why?
Why did they need to go tweener? They were starting to get over as a face team, and then they go and change the shit up again. It's like, what? They've had almost as many changes now in this past year as Show has in a year.
It's actually been a down year for Big Show as far as the heel face tweener alignment spinner thing. The dial has actually stayed on face for a while now.
Yeah, but you get my point. You get my point. There's been one wrestler on the roster, on the main roster of WWE for the last 10 years that has had more face heel turns. And who is it? The Big Show.
Okay.
And we all know this to be true. We've all documented. It's like, it got to the point where it's like, please retire, clap, 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 please retire, And here's a guy now that is what? He's like close to 40. He's close to 40 himself.
Actually, Big Show is over 40.
And he's in the best shape of his life.
Right.
Now, Vince is shitting all over him.
Not sure. I'm not sure about that, but I think Show wants to put over the young guys, and Big Cass is a young guy, and he's going to do that. He's going to do the gatekeeping.
But the question I have is this: because his hand being kayfabe broken, getting back to that, is he going to be wearing a cast, and is Kurt Angle going to authorize the cast to be in the match?
Are you trying to say? Are you looking for a little bit of Bob Orton Jr. out of the Big Show?
No. I'm looking at Undertaker Brock Hell in a Cell.
Interesting.
I don't think they'll address it, and I don't even think there'll be a cast on his hand. They'll just say they'll do some sort of hell. I don't need a cast. I'm the Big Show, and they'll just go about the match. And
but his right hand is basically neutralized, and that's the knockout punch hand. So what are they going to do? Heavily tape it?
Probably. And you know what they say about, like, in boxing, your hand breaks in boxing all the time, and then it's that time period before the adrenaline kicks in, and then you don't care about the broken hand anymore, and you want to throw it like normal. I can see in the thing where Big Show's going to throw that hand regardless. But as I said before, I fully expect Cass to win this match.
I do too, unfortunately.
I'm happy if he wins this match, honestly. You know, once again, this will be a fun match for me. Not sure about everybody else, but, you know, we'll see where it goes.
But what I'm going to see, what will probably happen at the end of the match is if Cass wins, they bring the cage down. Cass tries to, or Enzo tries to stay in the cage. To avoid getting the shit beat out of him by Cass.
It's going to be an interesting turnout nonetheless, because I think I'm looking forward to seeing where this match leads for either men, for all three men in the matchup. It's not really the fact that the storyline was terrible or anything for that matter, or illogical for that matter. It's just that I am only invested in going to watch it to see the result. Whether it's good, bad, that would be another story altogether on the post SummerSlam discussion. But anyways, since considering we did touch on 5 Feet of Fury, let's talk about Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks then, shall we?
Oh, I thought we were going to go over. Oh, I thought we were going to get through the rest of the undercard matches first.
Well, yeah, because I think the only match left on the undercard, guys, is the only 2 matches left are Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton versus Rusev. So take your pick.
Okay, so let's throw on the dice and let's go on with Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor. Take first, considering you just coughed about it.
Why would they announce the Demon?
Okay.
You don't, something that quote unquote special, you know, air quotes special. You don't announce something like that. You make everybody speculate. You know, Vince and creative have been holding all the results to this show very, very tightly.
Agreed.
And then they slip up and say, yeah, the Demon's coming out at SummerSlam. It's been a year since Finn was painted up as a demon. And if we want to look at it, if you want to look at it continuity-wise, the Demon caused Finn to get injured. Not Seth Rollins, the Demon.
So the Demon is the boogeyman in this kind of situation.
Exactly. I see Finn losing to Bray.
Oh, God.
Wow. I know it's an oh, God, but hear me out.
Okay.
If you look at it, Finn has not painted himself up since SummerSlam last year. There's been several matches that we thought he was going to be painted up, and he didn't paint up.
Okay.
What happened at SummerSlam last year? He got injured, painted as a demon, winning the Universal title. That he had to vacate 23 hours later.
Okay.
I'm starting, you know, there's one or two ways they can go with this. They can go A, the Demon has become a handicap, or B, the Demon takes over.
Interesting positing. So here's the thing.
But I still see Bray going over in the end.
Bold words. Adam, do you have anything to say on that matter?
Finn has to win as the Demon. You're right, though, TM. They shot their load and announced the Demon before they had to, which I find hysterical because I think they went ahead and did the Demon after Finn's comments about, no, I don't need the Demon. I can beat Bray Wyatt with just my leather jacket. I think this is them kind of going, no, we're going to bring the Demon out for SummerSlam. You have to – Finn has to maintain some credibility for being his size and being allowed to play within the heavyweight division. So I think Finn goes over, the Demon goes over, because, my God, I'm tired of Bray Wyatt.
I understand that. But my question is this. Does the demon, because it is out there and it's public knowledge, all the way back to his days in NXT. Every time the demon comes out, Finn loses a part of himself. Could this be the tipping point that the demon takes control?
I hope they don't waste something as what I think would be really interesting like that on Bray Wyatt. On a match with Bray Wyatt, because I'm sorry, he's done. Stick a fork in Bray Wyatt. He's done. I'm over it. Can we please move on? The promos are stale. He's stale. Pull your brother away from the Mistrage. Come out as a newfangled version of the Blackjacks. Do something. But these tired, droning promos, his matches I have noticed have become very 1, 2, 3, very paint by numbers. I hope we get something different at SummerSlam. I don't expect to. I'm just done with the Bray Wyatt experience. There's nothing to it. Finn wins, Demon goes over, and let's get the show on the road.
Okay.
Ambrose Alley?
I agree with Adam on this 100%. He said everything I was thinking.
I thought you were my friend. I'm picking, you know it.
Oh, I know. It's just I have found, as Adam says, Bray it's like Heyman. It's stale. I've seen it a million times. I don't want to see it anymore. Fighting something new.
I mean, okay. Fizz.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I thought I'm going to go with Fizz first before we set out.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So, okay. Up until now, 2 weeks before SummerSlam has reached, we have little to no information about why Bray Wyatt has been going on and wanting to face Finn Balor. The only thing that we can garner off from it is because it's from the commentator that they are saying that Bray Wyatt wanted to face the Demon. And hence, this is why Finn Balor wanted to bring out the Demon. Personally, I think it's a little bit too early for him to bring out the Demon in this sort of form, unless Finn Balor is teasing a swerve where he just comes out without wearing the paint. Because,
my God, if they pulled that swerve, Brooklyn would go nuts, and not in a good way.
And this is why, and this is me just speculating, but I do love to see a reaction coming out from it, because if he decided to pull that off, because if Finn Balor pulls out the Demon, you definitely know that he's going to win either way, because it's either predictable that you're going to say that Finn Balor is going to win anyways, but if let's say that WWE goes on a path that they're gonna go over with Finn on the Demon form, a Demon King persona, who's to say that Bray Wyatt doesn't take this too lightly and still starts attacking him, creating another set of storylines in the process? Because let's face it, Bray Wyatt has been a little bit more invested in this kind of in this segment with Finn Balor, even though his stake has been reduced to a little bit of a joke by all of us, I believe. And as much as his stick has been tiring, and a lot of people are starting to clamor that Bray Wyatt should reinvent or recreate himself back again, I still think that there's some value in him as this kind of performer. Because let's face it, he's right now on a two-match winning streak. Would you want to pull the rug off from Bray Wyatt just because he has winning streak? Or would you pull off the rug from Finn Balor, who just returned from an injury?
Yeah, it's a tough call. You know, and the thing about it is that he went over someone that is respected in Seth Rollins. He beat Seth Rollins twice.
Agreed. And Bray Wyatt beat him clean, with no interference, no shenanigans.
Exactly.
Beat him with a pin. 1, 2, 3. Sister Abigail, done and dusted. And that shows that in a way that that creative has something to do with him. We're not sure what it is. We're not sure where it's going to lead with Finn Balor on the program, but at least in a sense, we can see that Bray Wyatt is leading on to something along the way. And pulling a loss, giving a loss to Bray Wyatt isn't really going to help matters, because we're gonna go and say that, oh, this happens again. Bray Wyatt has been giving these elaborate promos for death by now. And this is again, if he loses, this is again yet another example of him giving promises of grandeur but delivering nothing. So yeah,
promising us caviar and delivering us carp.
Or basically just promising us chicken salad. Promising us chicken salad, but yet again delivering with chicken shit.
Yeah. Or in as they say in Japan, promising us caviar and delivering us koi.
At least koi is more valuable than caviar. That matter.
Wow.
In some aspects, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Fizz?
Okay.
I admit I turned my phone on when I saw him perform here in my town.
I'm looking forward to this match, folks. At least from the one dimension of please Bray win. Please beat Finny McBrogue. Please beat the demon and steal his soul for your very soul jar for his powers.
He's not authorized.
And at this point, I know that you're the soul keeper taker, but Bray has a habit of wanting to absorb the wrestling force of some of the wrestling's most destructive and dark forces in the world of WWE. And Finny McBrogue and his demon are perfect for this. And honestly, the match itself, please, Finn, don't get hurt again at SummerSlam. And at this point, Bray is the safest worker that they can put with Finn at this point, because he's basically a giant fun house, that he can bounce off of. And, I think that this match will be okay. I'm not looking forward to what Finn has planned for his SummerSlam entrance, because I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the demon or the character involved. And, I think
an evil thought.
Huh?
Oh God.
His last takeover in London, he came out as Jack the Ripper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Could we see Son of Sam?
Oh.
Probably there might be probably a trademark issue with that in this case, but I think Finn and his SummerSlam entrance is gonna pop the crowd. It's a situation where I'm not tired of Bray Wyatt's gimmick. I've always enjoyed the corny community theater gimmick that he's had. He's one of my, I've said this story before, he's one of my mom's favorite wrestlers. She really, really likes his corny, wonderful acting, community theater style acting that this guy can do. And I think at this point, Bray will probably lose the match at SummerSlam to Finn, and they'll try and start building Finn back up to the Universal title or IC belt or whatever belt they decide to give him on Raw. And, we'll see where this is yet another match where we have to say we'll have to see where this goes from here. So, guys, you want to talk about Randy Orton getting a Rusev match on this card?
Yeah, why not?
RKO 1, 2, 3. Please end it soon.
That was
Go
quick.
ahead, because you start us off.
Adam, go ahead.
Look, they already gave us the RKO on SmackDown. Randy got to Rusev. I don't know why we're even in this position with this match. Orton wins. I honestly, to me, this match is as close to a toss-up as there is on this match. On this card, I don't know who's going to walk out the winner because, like I said, we've already got.
Do you really care?
Not in the least. My God, this match will be ambient. I don't care. I just don't care. Randy Orton has been, I will say this, Randy Orton has been given piles of shit in 2017 to work with. I give him all the props in the world for trying to work it, but he's also Randy Orton, so you can tell he's kind of mailed it in a little bit. I don't see how it's going to be any different with Rusev. It's a shame what they've done with Rusev. He should be a bigger star by now, but it is what it is. Like I said, RKO 1, 2, 3, get out of there. Orton wins, I guess, but I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Ambrose?
Okay, well, I'm a little partial on this one.
Ooh.
Randy to go over because Randy needs a win.
Okay.
He really needs a good win. I got a feeling it's going to be a slow moving match. It's one I will probably tune in and out of from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's one of your
during this match.
It's one of your bathroom break matches?
No, it's not a bathroom break match because I want to know when this RKO is going to hit, but I'll probably be reading a book.
From out of nowhere. That's obvious.
That's right.
Allie, the RKO already hit. It was on Tuesday.
That was the most glorious RKO I've seen in about 15 years from Orton.
It's going to hit tomorrow too.
But I mean, it won't be as glorious. I mean, all Rusev said was Randy, boom, started over with. I haven't seen him hit an RKO like that. It was in 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Fizz, do you have any points to add, or are you looking forward, or just thinking this is my bathroom break?
No, I think it will be a fine enough match. Okay, Orton has been, the thing is that WWE didn't necessarily like what Orton was saying about the dives thing or trying to get into fights with Will Ospreay from a different promotion that they're trying to at least acknowledge at this point. So basically, they have sent Randy Orton down the gauntlet of fire. First, you must put over the Bray of Wyatt. Next, you must put over Jinder of Mahal. And now you shall try to put over, or at least try to rehabilitate, Rusev of Machka. And at this point, Rusev is probably going to go over because we need at least one of these heels to go over on this show. And it's because it's such a big card, there's going to be a few heels going over. I think Rusev has the surprise upset. He gets the acolyte on Randy. Since Randy hit the RKO on SmackDown, as Enem said, most likely it might be Randy takes a surprise loss in this contest. It'll be a fine enough match. It will be an enjoyable match because Orton and Rusev have worked well together before. And we'll see where this goes from here.
I see the match as being a match that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Both characters are boring as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Randy is having one of his better face runs for a change.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd is actually buying into it, and Randy is actually working towards the crowd as a face, which is something he don't normally like to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's always been, I want to be heel, I want to stay heel. Screw what the crowd thinks. I mean, he hit that RKO, and he was working the crowd as a face.
I think you have to consider at this point, Taker, that he's got a family. He's got a family now. I think he wants to, to show his little kids that, hey, this is my job. This is my awesome job. Look at how cool it is.
Yeah, maybe they're old. Maybe now they're old enough to understand.
Yeah, they're old enough to understand. And also, I think there's another thing that I think we forgot to mention. I think Randy Orton is due for yet another film, and so is Sheamus. So some of the outcomes on SummerSlam might determine if they're going to be off TV for a while or not.
That's why I expect Rollins and Ambrose to go over. Because Sheamus was. I figured Sheamus was going to drop. Sheamus and Cesaro were going to drop the titles on the last pay-per-view, and they didn't.
Well, also, if you're looking at it that way, Rollins' movie is coming out soon, too. That he did with Snipes. Poor guy.
Wesley Snipes? He's still an actor?
He did a movie with Wesley Snipes.
He's still working as an actor?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Unfortunately.
The best movie I ever saw with Wesley Snipes was Demolition Man.
That's it?
I'm a Blade man through and through. I love
Not
Blade.
Messenger.
Oh, Blade was
Demolition. I'm a
Demolition Man though was awesome with him and Sly. It was great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Demolition Man.
One of my top 5 movies of all time.
Mhm.
Well,
I bet you guys are. I'm going to tell you what my number 1 all time is though.
what is it?
It's a Clint Eastwood spaghetti western.
Which one?
The Lone
The
Ranger.
best one. The best one they ever made. The Good,
The Bad, the Ugly.
and the Ugly. That was that was one of the greatest. I must have watched that movie 250 times or more.
Did you ever time the final gunfight sequence? How long it took from the time music started till they actually killed each other?
It was 5 minutes 48 seconds.
Damn.
And now we have westerns, folks.
Let me put it to you like this. I had an anniversary edition that had the actual audio in Italian.
Wow. Interesting.
Ooh.
Interesting.
And to listen to Eli Wallach call Clint Eastwood a dirty son of a bitch in Italian is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
I can imagine. Okay.
So are we ready to move on to the what I guess you can call the upper
Okay.
card?
I
Okay,
guess.
upper card is next.
All right,
Let's
all right,
send you and Taker. What do you want to go with first? Naomi, Natalia, Banks Bliss, or Mahal Nakamura?
Let's go with Natty Naomi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Agreed. Okay.
Ambrose, you start us off.
Oh, this one's easy.
Mhm.
This one's easy for me. It's Naomi. She is a good worker in the ring, but
Mhm.
it's the same thing. She's got no charisma. At least with Naomi, as much as I dislike what she did to the belt, at least she's entertaining.
Mhm.
She's entertaining, and she does connect with the crowd much more so than Natty. So I see Naomi retaining the belt because they can get a lot more mileage out of her right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a by the book. I think it's by the book kind of thing right now for this kind of matchup, and it's completely logical and predictable that Naomi would, and should retain the title against Natalia. Fizz, any points?
No, he's Adam.
To me, this match is about what's going to happen next. Let me first say, I have nothing against Natalia, but the thing is, we are, I think, 1.5 years shy from her 10-year anniversary on the main roster.
Oh, really?
We are very close to her 10 years on the main roster in WWE. And she is what she is at this point. There's very little... I wouldn't necessarily hate a gold watch run with the strap for Natalia, but not coming off of Naomi. Naomi's connecting with the audience. Her charisma is apparent. I would like for her to become a slightly bit more crisp in the ring, but everything's working right now. TM, I know this is going to make you cringe. I have no problem with the glow belt. That it
needs to go away.
Yes.
That, and it will as soon as they take it off her. You know that they have a belt stashed away, ready for when they take it off Naomi.
They would do that when they took that spinner belt off of Cena, and look how long we got stuck with that spinner belt.
That's because WWE marketing is horseshit.
We were stuck with that spinner belt for what, 5 years?
Yeah,
7.
Okay, well, I was being generous, okay,
but
in my way, I was being magnanimous and generous to Vince and his bullshit. But I digress.
I will say, I think what we're going to see very soon is Naomi's going over in this match, but I think what we're going to see a cash in I could see one of two things happening. Naomi's going over at SummerSlam, but one of two things are happening. Either Carmella's going to cash in and win to take the belt off her to make one of the Money in Bank briefcases mean something on SmackDown, or I could see them having Naomi win, no cash in SummerSlam. On Tuesday, we get the debut of Nikki Cross on SmackDown Live. And please, for the love of God, give me Naomi and Nikki Cross, because I think that is a fantastic match waiting to happen.
Well, okay. Here's one possible ponder that I could counter on Adam's point. We already had a cash-in with Baron Corbin, and that failed this week. Should we see another round of cash-in on SummerSlam this time with Carmella?
My thing is, Carmella, we have to move something with this belt, this briefcase. If you're not going to do it at SummerSlam, are you really going to wait till No Mercy?
It could possibly be an option.
Well, No Mercy. Well, minor note. No Mercy is a Raw exclusive pay-per-view.
What's the next SmackDown pay-per-view, Fizzy?
Okay, let's see here. Let's see. WWE pay-per-view schedule, pay-per-view events. 2017 upcoming pay-per-view schedule. That would be Hell in a Cell on October 8th.
Okay, you're not. I'm sorry. You can't keep. I think people are forgetting that Carmella even has the damn briefcase. You can't wait till October. You either do it quickly now, or you risk people kind of going, "Oh yeah, she has the briefcase," and then it doesn't help that Ellsworth is taking a lot of the heat away from Carmella, and that's now becoming a problem. They have to do something with Ellsworth, but like I said, you're either risking people forgetting about Carmella. You're risking also making both briefcase winners look like idiots if they lose. So I think you're better off either going two ways with it. Either have her cash in at SummerSlam and win, or hold off on it for a little bit longer, but you can't wait till October.
Point taken. Fair enough. I can see that. I can definitely see Naomi winning clean and not really having a cash in be a logical option. And yes, I agree. Carmella should cash in, but not waiting up until October, because that will be too long, and you would drag her attention span from the crowds and from the WWE universe away from Carmella if you drag it out too long. Fizz,
That said, I'm still another thing here, and I'm sorry, guys. The SmackDown Women's Division needs something. It needs something desperately.
Fizz, anything to add?
Oh, that was a good point that you added there, Adam. That was really nice. Let's see here. This particular match, you guys have complained about the glow belt. I actually kind of like the thing. You know, I like the glow belt. I think it's a nice little statement piece, and it's something for people to get attached to. You know, people who are really big fans of Naomi, who need a pure baby face to cheer about. You know, not somebody who's gray and gray, but an actual true baby face who is literally squashed, quite literally and figuratively, Lana multiple times, and has built up a humongous amount of baby face sympathy. Who knew putting somebody that was ultra hateable against one of your best baby faces could actually make your baby face even more over? Huh, what a concept. Anyway, this match, I'm thinking to myself, okay, if Carmella cashes in, then that glow belt is going to become even more gaudy and, probably even worse. There's always a worse option than the glow belt, guys. Watch as Carmella jersey-fies it.
That's not gonna be a good look at all. Please do not give WWE.
I have shown you folks the gateway to the worst timeline, and to showcase that the glow belt is actually the better option. As far as the match itself, Naomi and Natalya will have a solid enough match. Natalya always does very well at SummerSlam pay-per-views, interestingly enough, as far as actual matches are concerned. And Naomi has been on a hot streak lately as far as getting really good matches out of individuals. Especially Lana in particular. And I think that this match will be good. As far as a cash-in goes, I'm 50-50 on it at this point. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, okay, we'll just go forward from there. We'll see what happens. That's kind of been a running theme with SmackDown-related matches on this card, is that we need to see what happens afterwards and see how the creative team will get themselves out of this minefield this week. And honestly, I think this will be pretty good. I think this will be a decent match.
I agree.
Me too. I mean, from the past 2 weeks in particular, SmackDown has been in a holding pattern with these matches that lead up to the title. We are not really seeing any form of cohesion in their storylines and all that. It's still vague, or it's illogical in a sense. It's either one of the two, or it's outlandish at all. Just that I think in this case of the SmackDown Women's Division title, Naomi could and should retain the title against Natalya, even though a small part of me would have wanted Natalya to win and subsequently get a cash-in from Carmella. That's one small option that I could posit seeing, but if it doesn't happen, I'm fine with Naomi beating Natalya and still retaining the title, because like Fizz said, both of these women had already good runs. Natalya is on a good streak. Naomi is on a better streak. She's been pulling off decent matches against Lana, against most of her opponents that she faced anyways. I mean, that's good enough for SmackDown, then that's good enough for me. And as a final note, I would be fine with the glow on SmackDown titles. It's fine as long as when you take it off from Naomi, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Taker, anything to add on this one? Are you good to go?
No, I got plenty to add.
Okay. Let's add some spice.
Being the oldest member of this panel, being someone who's been a fan since 1971 of professional wrestling, I will not call it sports entertainment.
Fair enough.
And I will find myself $20 for saying it.
Goes in a jar, my friend.
The glow belt needs to go away. To me, it is defacing the traditionalism of a championship belt. Championship belts are to be prized possessions, not something made into a cheap novelty act. I understand that the glow is Naomi's thing. That's fine. When they had the neon on her name, on the side plates, that was enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Adding the LEDs and all that other crap cheapened the title, in my opinion. I want to see, even though this is going against everybody, I want to see Natty take it, make it more realistic, make it more prestigious because of her family heritage. And she's the only woman ever trained in the Heart Dungeon. And that will give it some validity and stature. Give the title to Natty.
Okay.
Listen to me. Don't let the daughter of a jobber, Jake the Milkman Milliman, who's Carmella's dad, do not allow her to, if she tries to cash in on Eddie, she loses. But this is not the time for Carmella to cash. Because we've already had one failed attempt. Do we want 2 failed attempts inside of a week? No. Let Carmella pick her spot. Let it be after a tough match that Natty has on SmackDown. We've seen cash-ins on the quote-unquote free TV shows. I am very much against this belt. I have stated this more than once. I don't like the belt. I am a traditionalist. Belts are to remain traditional, in my opinion, because they mean more. Once you start adding something or putting stuff on the belt that is more towards the wrestler, that means you're trying to have the belt make the wrestler. No, the wrestler is supposed to make the belt. Naomi was doing fine before they did all that crap to the belt. I don't like the belt. The belt needs to go away. It needs to be put into a shredder and buried at sea. That's just my opinion.
See, I don't. My thing is, if you have Natty win at SummerSlam, you immediately kill the briefcase because the briefcase is on a heel, and the belt will be on a heel.
Well, let's look at it this way. Corbin had the belt, had the case, right? He's a heel.
Jinder's a heel. Yeah,
Jinder's a heel. Yeah. So your argument holds no water.
Well,
you just shot yourself in the foot.
My long-term concern with Natty with the belt is, where does it go? I know Natty having the belt would immediately make Becky and Charlotte more ingrained into the title picture.
Exactly.
But after,
and you know who that'll. But Adam, you know who that will make extremely happy?
Matt.
Exactly. Metal Matt.
Metal Matt would be ecstatic with that. And look, I want Becky in the title picture. I want Charlotte in the title picture. But I don't want the belt off Naomi because Naomi's on such a run. I
know, and Naomi has had what? She won it where?
I think she won it. Where? Hang on. Let me just check.
She's had it for almost 6 months now, I think.
Did Naomi win it at Mania?
She won it.
Yes, she did.
Yeah,
she won it at Mania.
Exactly.
So here it is. Let's see. That was April. Here it is, August. That's 4 months. That's over 120 days. It's time.
Oh wait, no.
I feel it's time.
Wait, no. I have to correct you first on that one. Naomi won the SmackDown Women's Champion at Elimination Chamber.
Right, and she had to vacate because of an injury.
Yes, she was forced to relinquish the title due to injury. She won it back.
And she won back at WrestleMania. This is her second run with the title.
This is the second run, yes.
Exactly.
Okay, and I have to admit, Naomi has done very well for herself. She has improved greatly. Okay, and I attribute that directly to her husband. I think it's Jay.
Her husband, yes, is, and her husband is Jimmy Uso, yes.
Okay. I have to attribute that to him helping her along in her career and teaching her a few things because she has gotten a lot better. I'm not going to dispute that fact. She has gotten better. She's been able to carry opponents of lesser talent in matches and make them look like great people. But the time has come because they have taken the title and cheapened it. And that is one of, Adam, you know this as one of my biggest pet peeves. A title is to be prestigious, regardless of who holds it. And it doesn't matter. U.S. title, Intercontinental title, Universal title, WWE title, men's or women's title, either SmackDown or Raw. It is their job to make the title. Not the title make them. What WWE did is they made that title a novelty. They have made that title a novelty. And it needs to go away.
But, okay, let me ask you guys this real quick. Does the status of the Mattel Globe belts, the toy belts, will that have any impact on this match?
I believe so. And that's wrong. And that is wrong. That is totally and 100% wrong. You would not see the NWA Heavyweight Championship belt if they put it on some guy who had a glow theme. They would not do that because of their heritage and their prestige of that belt. Right or wrong?
Well, no, you are absolutely correct, TM. But here's the thing: the NWA Heavyweight Championship was under the control of a mafia-like cartel that.
Vince Sr. was a member of it at one point.
they had that view of the belt because it was very privately held. They made that mystique work for a reason. We are very well into the era of a publicly owned company that has to make money and continually make money and try to find ways to make money in any way possible. That belt, I agree. I'm a little bit of a belt mark myself, but the thing is that belt plays well with the kids. And if it plays well with the kids and it plays well with the audience, it is what it is. And we're not changing it. And that goes for that red strap on the Universal Championship.
I don't like that either, but that's beside the point.
It goes with the two copper and nickel belts for the tag titles.
To be perfectly honest, I like those. Because those belts show some brand separation. But the women's belt, both of the straps are white.
True.
One of the backgrounds is blue, the other one is red. That's fine. That's all they need. That tells you what brand it is.
I mean, okay.
We don't need 200 LED lights. We don't need it looking like a chicken truck going down the highway.
Okay, I think in certain contexts, I think both of you are right on this one. I mean, looking at the current picture of the WWE universe, and this is going to be a little bit of a quick segue. Times have changed, and yes, we could say that history has been sullied with the treatment of the belts. Yes, we can agree with that one. But on a business standpoint, they are still trying to make money. This is a publicly traded company that their main goal is to make money. And like it or not, the title belts has always been a wow factor. And if you want a little bit of an argument's sake for marketing purposes, what about WWE giving off titles, replicas of titles freely to any champions who has that kind of titles? Doesn't that really cheapen a little bit of the title, even if it's just honoring the championship on one end? Okay. Because
you think about it. You look at the people that have gotten them, and you look at recently who's gotten them. Okay. Let's see. Cleveland Cavaliers got one for winning the NBA championship.
True.
As did Sacramento, or as is Golden State.
Golden State. They've given them to the winner of the Premier League.
They gave it to a team. They also gave it to a team that is very near and dear to my heart. And you know exactly where I'm going, Adam. I've been a Cubs fan for over 45 years.
So for you to see them get that title, I get it.
It meant a lot to me. And believe it or not, I have one on order with Cubs plates on
it. I wouldn't doubt it. To wrap up this discussion, because we do need to get over to the other women's match. The belts, at the end of the day, as Jim Cornette said, the belts are props. They're props. They're props to help give agency to the title holders, to give the workers something to work for. They're all storyline props. So and I do prefer a more traditional look with my belts, but at the end of the day, these belts are marketing opportunities, they're merchandise opportunities, and that's just the fact of the matter in 2017. The belts won't look like this forever. What we see today will not be what the belt looks like for any of them in 5, 10, 15 years. So I have feet on both sides of the argument, but that's just what it is. But let's get on to the next match.
All right.
Yeah, before I get mad.
Please don't, Taker.
No, I'm behaving myself. Trust me.
So I just got back from making a snack. So you guys talked about the belts for 15 minutes. So what's next? And I'll make a quick point on this one. I don't care what the belt looks like to me. If 8-year-old Susie at a Toys R Us wants the shiny little glow belt and her parents buy it, then okay, that's fine. I mean, if it brings more women and children back into professional wrestling rings and arenas, that's all good. That's really good. It brings diversity into the world of professional wrestling, and we need diversity in professional wrestling now more than ever.
Absolutely.
All right. So moving on to the other women's division title match, we have Alexa Bliss, 5 Feet of Fury, versus Sasha Banks, the boss, the legit boss, for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Wow. Adam, would you mind starting this off with us?
In case you aren't aware, I am from Ohio. I went to high school 45 minutes away from where Alexa Bliss went to high school.
I did not know that.
She's the hometown kid. Go ahead, TM.
I said so.
I have a connection. I have a hometown pride for Alexa. I'm very proud of what she's done. But at the end of the day, Sasha Banks has to walk out of Brooklyn the Raw Women's Champion. And I predict she will walk out of Brooklyn the Raw Women's Champion. The WWE could have given us 4 solid weeks of great promos and back and forth going into Brooklyn. But they went on this tangent with Bayley, and now she's hurt, and so we're back to Sasha Alexa. Sasha Banks is so damn good, everybody, and she is. I have called her the straw that stirs the drink in the women's division. She is so good at such a young age. Please give Sasha her moment with the strap in Brooklyn as a babyface, and let's let this ball roll for a little bit. Alexa was made a 3-time champion in the span of about 9 months. It's time. Let's get Lexi away from the title scene. Let's let Sasha do her thing because she does it so well. Sasha wins, walks out of Brooklyn with the strap.
Okay. Allie, do you have anything to add on this one?
Well, I agree with Adam that Alexa needs to walk away now, and then it will make far more interesting when Bayley does come back. For Bayley wanting to say, okay, I had the shot. To me, Sasha.
Interesting. Interesting note there, because I do have a slight love for seeing people suddenly turn heel and just attack a new champ. It's just me. Anyways, Fizz, are you okay?
Do you want to go first on this one, MDS?
I'll stick my point to the last point, I think.
Oh, okay. I'll go next. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, the Godzilla versus King Ghidorah battle is back on in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center because this ring is going to be absolutely demolished, and the boys aren't going to even have their massive beef on beef battle because Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks are going to absolutely demolish the dang thing beforehand. These two have destroyed each other before in a colossal match. We thought we were only going to get it once, and maybe we'd get it later down the line later in the year, but nope. Bayley injured her shoulder and arm in a match, and so Bayley is not cleared to compete. So Sasha Banks gets the opportunity to face against Alexa Bliss again. And this will be a literal war of the monsters. These two will go at it even more so than what they did at the last Raw pay-per-view, because this is SummerSlam.
Whose nose is getting broke this time?
Both of them. And the ref. And the guy that sells popcorn on row 5 in the Barclays Center.
Shoot fight!
This is going to be a literal MMA shoot fight to end all shoot fights against these with these two individuals. I won't be surprised if Alexa decides to lift up the ring and try to toss it at Sasha during the entirety of this match. And as Adam has witnessed, because Alexa used to be a cheerleader, anybody who failed the cheerleading squad at Alexa Bliss's school ended up getting tossed into the air like a dartboard. Flying cheerleaders everywhere, and parts of the stadium when they had to do renovations.
Oh, God.
The Hulk is going to try and demolish Sasha, and Sasha is going to try and demolish Alexa. It's going to be a colossal war. Godzilla, King Ghidorah, and Samoa Joe will all be fleeing at the sight of this carnage. King Kong is going to stay on the top of the Empire State Building and get a good view along with his girlfriend, because this is going to be fun.
Fizz, I got a question for you.
Yeah?
Have you ever thought about being a manager in wrestling?
I really don't have any real particular interest in being in the actual sport of professional wrestling.
Because you can cut one hell of a promo, man.
Oh man, I've had years of experience. I've been doing this since 2013. I've had years of self-taught practice.
You are better at cutting promos than Paul Heyman.
I honestly wouldn't go that far because probably Saul would send somebody to break my legs. But regardless, it's funny. What's funny
as a matter of fact, I'd like to refer your Twitter handle to Heyman Hustle to say, hey, you might want to try to get him in the
you
business.
don't have to do that, buddy. You don't have to do that. I like being in my little spud. I like sitting back and relaxing. Funny thing is, I am actually Jewish. I am Romanian Jewish. So you know.
But the question isn't a panel. I have a quick question for the panel. And it's a simple yes/no. And Fizz, you stay out of it. Do all of you think he would be a great manager in the WWE? Yes or no?
Fizzy will do fantastic.
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yeah, sure. Why not? She said yes.
Duh.
So do I. You're outnumbered, Fizz. I'm referring you to Heyman Hustle.
Nah. I'm good where I'm at, buddy. I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay.
How can someone follow that? Because I know I can't. I mean, Jesus, I can cut a hell of a promo, but Jesus Christ.
You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm done.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm done.
I just wipe my hands. Shit.
But yes, I mean, okay, point number one. Congratulations for bringing Godzilla and King Ghidorah to this conversation today. The Japanese side on me.
I haven't had a chance to speak on this myself, but I'll wait.
And judging from Fizz's own gushing of the match, he's extremely looking forward to this match, as per because yes, these two have had history ever since they stepped foot in NXT. That's one thing, and let's not forget. And I do pull this out as a teasing remark on both Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. Sasha Banks did slap the living hell out of Alexa Bliss's crotch at one point.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened. And
yes, I do believe that those personal reasons might come into fruition and they will really pull off a shoot fight on this one. Everybody will really be invested in looking at this. The biggest question I have was who's going to go over. On one hand, I would say that I could see Alexa retaining the title, but on my personal note, I would love to see Sasha Banks take the title and subsequently go forward into a program with Bayley once she's healed up. Who knows? If Bayley hasn't been healed up post SummerSlam and could not make it for 1 or 2 months per se, maybe you can see a rematch clause with Alexa Bliss just trying to get back the title. That would be something. But hey, that's just me fantasy booking it all. I see this as a really hard-hitting fight because we know Sasha Banks is an excellent worker. She loves to take risks on her high-flying moves. Her high-risk, high-impact maneuvers are really good and well executed if executed perfectly. And as much as and this is not a knock on Alexa Bliss. As much as she is excellent at talking, she's a little bit below Sasha Banks in terms of wrestling ability. But she can go. That's the praise that I could give on Alexa Bliss. She's a good talker, but she's still quite an average to good worker on the ring. Last final result, maybe we'll see Sasha Banks winning the title on SummerSlam. Possibly negative feud with Bayley when she returns. Who knows? And that's just me. Taker, do you still want to wipe your hands clean off after what Fizz gushed off? Or
Jesus, you know, it's hard to follow a promo like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he must have gone to the Dusty Road School of cutting promos, because
Yeah.
I will put this promo right up there with Hard Times.
Oh,
What now?
I said your
Why
promo
now?
on this match that you just cut, I'm going to put up there right close to the Hard Times promo.
Oh, I'm
Dusty-
not even remotely near that level. I mean, look, Dusty Rhodes and Roddy Piper are two of the best promo people in the world. I mean, they started entire riots in cities. You know, it's for me.
But Fizz, listen to me.
Mhm.
It's my opinion.
Oh, I know it's your opinion. I know it's your opinion.
You are on the same level as Dusty, Rick, Roddy,
Mhm.
superstar Billy Graham.
Who do you think I
Let's see-
listen to all the time on YouTube's? You know.
But this
No
match coming up between Sasha and Alexa, I'm going to do some abridging here in honor of CMGI Bear,
Mhm.
who no longer does the Raw and SmackDown abridging. A moment of silence, please.
Yeah, he has to go to law school, so he's
Yeah, but a moment of silence for the death of that series. I mean, it was great.
Yes. But anyways, go ahead with your obliging.
This is going to be the shoot fight of all shoot fights, because whether it's kayfabe or not, the hatred that goes on between those two, because they've always been in competition. Because what, Alexa Bliss is 5 foot tall, right?
Yes.
if that.
If that, and Sasha Banks is maybe 5'2", 5'3".
If that.
They're both
Okay.
a couple of they're both a couple of short shits with Napoleon complex.
Absolutely.
Okay. Alexa Bliss is billed at 5'1", and Sasha Banks is billed at 5'5".
Bullshit. Bullshit on Sasha Banks being 5'5".
Right.
It's
but
it's the build height. I can't
but
really.
I know it's the
Okay,
build height.
Okay,
but
go on.
beside the point, there are a couple of short shits with Napoleon complexes.
Agree.
Okay. You know how Napoleon was what, 4 foot 10 and a half, I think he was.
I think he was 4'10.5" or 4'11". Logic may vary. Yeah. Okay.
And we all know that people that are short have big complexes.
Oh wait.
Look at, Ambrose Alley can agree to this. Her dog is small,
hmm
right?
Yeah, she's 33 pounds.
Okay, you know, you've seen Yorkshire Terriers, right? 5.5, 6 pounds, and they walk around.
Yeah.
They walk around like they are freaking Rottweilers.
Okay.
You have a Rottweiler and a pit bull going at each other. The pit bull is Sasha Banks. The Rottweiler is Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
This is going to be a match where there will be bloodshed, possibly on both sides.
Don't
Not-
forget broken bones.
Not blading, but actual bloodshed where nose is getting broken, lips are getting split wide open because nobody wants to give an inch. This is going to be, bitch, I'm going to fuck you up. No, I'm going to fuck you up. And in the end, I see Sasha Banks walking out with the strap and going on to a rather long run. And when Bayley returns, because Sasha stole Bayley's spotlight, Bayley is going to be the black bitch heel that she can be. And she's going to turn on the universe, because after Sasha wins, everybody is putting all the kinds of kudos on Sasha, and Bayley is left out in the cold. Whether or not she's getting the well wishes of the universe, she's not going to admit it. And she's going to come after Sasha.
Fair enough. It's an option that can happen.
The monster is going to be unleashed at that untapped monster.
Right, because as you said before, Fizz, Bayley has been this fangirl babyface for over 4 years, and she's getting bored.
True.
I don't know if it's so much Bayley getting bored. I mean, there's probably some boredom here, but they sapped all of her agency in a very short period of time. And then that kendo stick match, which I hesitate to talk about, really. Pardon my French here, and Ambrose, I'm going to say something that might offend you, so I'm apologizing in advance, but they made Bayley look like a goddamn pussy. Yeah.
Didn't offend me.
They took a lot from Bayley. I'm not saying I'm against the heel turn for Bayley. It's just
Well, at least you're not like Middle Matt saying, "Oh, they got to book her better."
Well, they do. His point isn't invalid.
But the thing about it is, how can you book someone that's a fangirl who is targeted on 7 to 10-year-olds?
By not making a 26-year-old woman act like a 7-year-old.
That's what they're doing, though.
But that's on them. That's not on Bayley. But I know we could go down that rabbit hole. Really
I've gone down a rabbit hole on Dean Ambrose when he was IC champion with the same person we're talking about.
Well, that's true.
And you've seen the arguments him and I had.
Trust me, I have.
We all did.
We're not going to touch on it. I'm so excited for this match.
Okay.
I am excited for this match because I see Sasha going over and getting the run that she deserves.
Absolutely. And I hope it happens.
She'll be a 4-time champ at that point.
Yes.
One thing that bothered me the most is that her and Charlotte were hot potatoing the women's championship back and forth like every other freaking week. It started to get on my nerves. I don't like shit like that.
They mishandled both Charlotte and Sasha, in my opinion. Both have been mishandled terribly.
I agree.
But that's another topic for another show.
Yeah.
Let's get on to the next one.
Because at this point, folks, it's 1:07 p.m. We've been at it since 10 a.m. and we have 2 matches left on the card.
Let's go.
Nakamura and Jinder.
Jinder Mahal, Shinsuke Nakamura. Do you mind if I go first on this one?
Sure.
Go.
Okay. Jinder Mahal, Shinsuke Nakamura. This is one of the weirdest matches on the card because Jinder Mahal probably didn't expect he'd be facing against Nakamura in a match at SummerSlam of all places. And I think this match will probably be better than most people will anticipate it to be. The Singh brothers have done some really good heel work lately and promoting this match, and Jinder Mahal is still the champion. At this point, there might be a title change. There might not be a title change. We don't know at this point. So if Nakamura wins the belt at SummerSlam, okay, great. If Jinder retains, okay, we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. This is yet another SmackDown match where we need to see what happens during the show itself. And I do think that they've done this intentionally, the creative team on the SmackDown side. They've tried to lure people in on the SmackDown side who watch SmackDown regularly and say, what exactly is going to happen in SummerSlam? What exactly is going to go about the championship match? And I think that Mahal and Nakamura will do well in this situation. I think it will be a better than expected match, and the rest of you can go at it.
Let me go next.
Okay, take her. Go.
I see a hell of a match happening if the proper Shinsuke Nakamura shows up, i.e. the one that doesn't want to mail it in, the one that's going to work and show off the strong style that he is known for and basically beat the shit out of Jinder Mahal. Now, and that's coming from someone who has been a Jinder Mahal supporter since before he got the title. Because Fizz will know it. Fizz knows this. I think Ambrose Alley knows this, as do you, MDS. I stated in the Daily that Jinder Mahal was going to take the title. I stated it nightly that Jinder Mahal was going to take the title. I caught a lot of heat for it.
Yeah.
In the end, I was right, and I laughed at everybody. And I sat back the Monday after. What was it?
Monday. I think it was Monday after. Let me see.
God damn it! I can't think of what show it was.
Let's see. Let me just go.
Regardless, you were really, really happy about the decision.
Oh yeah, and I sat back with Fitzpatrick on daily, and we ate popcorn and watched everything burn to the ground.
Yeah, as we said earlier in the show, and honestly, you know, that was one of the great moments. And this Jinder Mahal run. Look, folks, I know that people have been complaining about the Jinder Mahal run consistently. I think it's been surprisingly decent. It's been much better than I anticipated to be. And, well, again, I have to put this disclaimer. I have low expectations about wrestling angles.
I had low expectations with Jinder Mahal in the title, and I said that, but I expected him to do something with it, and he's done exactly that. He has made the title. The title has not made him. When he was on Talking Smack, he was not so much the foreign heel that hates America. He's like, no, anybody that outworks me, I will gladly give the title to. You know, okay. And there was all the allegations of him juicing and all this stuff. Be that as it may, he came back clean on several tests. Hey, the man went out after he was released, made something of himself, came back, earned his way into that match. Yes, he had outside help with the Singh brothers, i.e. Bollywood boys at the time.
Okay.
And now he is the champion. We might as well face the fact that it's true. He has the advantage. The only problem I see with this match is somehow the Singh brothers have to be neutralized.
I agree. And just for the record, Jinder Mahal won his first ever title at Backlash. That's the match.
That's what I thought it was, Backlash. Father's Day.
And I totally agree. I totally agree with you guys on both fronts. Jinder Mahal's run as WWE Championship has been all right for me. Because like Taker said, I am also one of the one who said that it would be good if we see someone new holding the title than, say, Randy Orton at that time. I mean, it could work. And when that happened, it was interesting to say the least. And I was looking forward to every single time that Jinder Mahal holds the title and what does it bring to other superstars on the main roster. And it has been a little bit average to all right, more likely because his title defenses were mostly just generic at best, generic at worst, and decent at best, because he's been given the same few numbers of opponents like Randy Orton again, and then you have him even pinning Orton in a 6-man tag team match for that one. So in a sense, his title runs has been a little bit mediocre, but at least on one point he brought people watching SmackDown again, because people are tuning in just to see, or buying tickets just to see who's going to face Jinder Mahal and who's going to beat his ass. That's it. And on a standpoint, he did his work well. So in a sense, that's that. And yes, I did enjoy a little bit of popcorn when I saw the world burn to the ground on the nightly. So there's that.
Yeah, I made the popcorn, and you, I think, and Swiss and Adam, you had some of the popcorn. Did you not?
I always enjoy popcorn when the world's burning.
Anyways, Adam, what do you think about this one?
I was not a fan of the decision to put the belt on Jinder. My opinion on that hasn't exactly changed with his run. It's time. You put the belt, and look, I'm going to call it spade a spade. You put the belt on a jobber. We've gotten about a jobber's worth out of the belt. It's been okay at best. Not worth paying attention to at worst, and for the most part, I haven't really paid attention. Going into this match, though, with Shinsuke Nakamura, like TM said, if we're going to get the Nakamura who gives a shit, then I think this match will be just fine. And I think, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, in 2017, WWE, Shinsuke Nakamura will be the WWE World's Heavyweight Champion coming out of SummerSlam.
The Nakamura dynasty begins.
The Nakamura dynasty begins. For some, it might feel a little soon, build-wise. But I think now's the time to take the belt off Jinder. Let's get the belt off Jinder, and let's see what's next for him. I'm noticing a pattern, though, with the SummerSlam card when it comes to the SmackDown show lineup. Nearly all of these matches, we're going to feel like we're going to have an incomplete grade on until we see what happens on Tuesday. I think SmackDown on Tuesday is going to be key to a lot of these matches.
Asuka appears.
We can speculate that later. We can speculate that when it happens.
Asuka appears Tuesday night.
Take her, stop it. We need to hear what Ali has to say. So, Ali?
Really?
Yeah, really.
Much say. Really. Sorry, Taker. I just had to take that.
Right. Go on. Uh-oh. Did you drop?
I bet she did.
I bet she did. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
she got Geno'd.
She got screwed over. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys want to move on to beef on beef, or do you want to make a final point there, MDS?
Yeah, she just sent me a message. She lost internet.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think we can quickly wrap up to what certainly is one of the biggest things. I think quite literally and figuratively, one of the biggest matches on the card with beef on beef on beef on beef. The meat mountain itself.
The grand total of the beef in that ring for that match. Now, I'm going to read off the weights for everybody. Brock Lesnar is billed at 286 pounds. Braun Strowman's book is billed at 385 pounds. Samoa Joe is billed at 282 pounds. And coming in as the smallest and lightest of them all is Roman. Go ahead. You're back. Go ahead.
Back. I finally got it placed.
Go ahead.
I'm back.
Finish up what you were talking about.
Okay, what it is y'all know by now, I'm not stinging. Never have. He just never me.
Okay.
I'm looking for this match from a business and selling point of view. Neutral match. I see Nakamura doing this since they're running up the network on in Japan. That the only thing to bring in the viewers will be to put the belt on Nakamura.
Okay.
So you're not happy about the possibility of a Nakamura dynasty happening? Is that what you're saying?
Because as you pointed out, Taker, I don't want to get. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess. Maybe. Okay. I think we can quickly. Okay, we can quickly run off with what's.
Yeah, we gotta start wrapping this up.
Start running off with Taker actually telling.
I was telling the weights. Okay. I'll start over.
So
I'll start over again. We have Brock Lesnar at 286 pounds.
Brock 286 pounds. Okay.
Braun Strowman at 385 pounds. Samoa Joe at 282 pounds. And then we got Roman Reigns coming in as the lightest and smallest at 265 pounds. For a grand total of 1,218 pounds of beef in that ring. Now, when we started our panel early this morning, I asked everybody on the panel what their weight was. Now, I'm going off the numbers that we were given. Okay, and the grand total weight of the panel was 1,298 pounds, we were 80 pounds heavier than it, but it took 6 of us to equal what 4 men are about to do at SummerSlam Sunday.
Okay.
I'm calling this match the Beef Bowl, sponsored by Arby's, for the Universal Championship.
Okay.
And I want to start with Fizz.
Ladies and gentlemen, folks, we have ourselves a colossal clash of the Titans. If Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks don't destroy the ring in their match, then this will be the main event of the evening. Our 4 participants are a variety of backgrounds and professions and experience in terms of the world of professional wrestling. First, we have the champion, Brock Lesnar, who may or may not retain the belt at SummerSlam. There's been increased talk that Brock will retain the belt, but we don't know that yet. There's a ginormous bunch of cash trucks outside the Barclays Center from the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championships, for those who don't know the acronym, that Brock might be doing a super fight soon with John Jones. However, that might not happen at all, and Brock might just stay with WWE and eat large amounts of caviar because he's getting paid a large amount of money to do very little of anything. And at this point, we have our a minor phone interruption, but apart from that, continuing on, we have a situation with our next participant is Samoa Joe, who has gotten himself on a bit of a hot streak lately and has done relatively well in terms of the match structure. I don't know if Joe will be able to continue his hot streak here, given the fact that there are 3 other moving chess pieces in this particular edition of the match. Then we have the wild card, Braun Strowman, who's managed to revive his career after being the disciple of the Wyatt family for so long. The biggest problem that I might have is the fact that Braun and Brock Lesnar did not really work together well in the last match that these two had against one another, which was the Royal Rumble a few years back. Obviously, Braun has improved, but again, Braun has to rely heavily on his cartoonish, Looney Tunes-esque selling in order to make this match work. If Braun Strowman wins, there will probably be a minor riot of people who will be very happy if he wins. If the last participant in this particular match wins, however, there will probably be a full-scale, full-blown riot of hatred and rage that the Barclays Center has not seen since the New Jersey Nets continue to lose. Or the Islanders continue to lose. Anyway, we have the beloved Roman Reigns, beloved by all. No, really, he is beloved by all. If you're actually booing the guy, then you're actually contributing to part of the problem. Roman Reigns has been designated as the demi-king by Satan himself, Vince McMahon. And, of course, we have Roman, who's going to have a very, very good match against all 3 individuals. This main event will be pretty solid, I think. I have low expectations for it, but there's a lot of moving parts here, and something could possibly go wrong. And anyway, to cap things off, we have the manager, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, who will probably get involved in the finish at some point in the time. So there's my quick analysis of it.
As impeccable as always.
Ambrose Alley, what you got to say about this?
I actually made it back again.
Match?
What?
I really the internet.
You're back. I got you. We got you. You're
Oh, and she's dropped again?
Okay.
Yep. Oh, there she is. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, your internet's been working so good until now.
Please.
Adam?
I guess it's my turn.
Hopefully she can get back.
Yeah. Let's do it quick, shall we?
I'll make it quick.
Mhm.
I am hoping against hope that we leave SummerSlam with Samoa Joe as your world champion, universal champion.
Okay.
I think you're only going to have Joe for a short time, and he's been so good into the build. This build really took off when Samoa Joe started cutting those fire promos on Raw. He's been the little bit of the catalyst here. I think Joe. I want to live in a wrestling world with Shinsuke Nakamura as the world champion, Samoa Joe as the Universal Champion, and AJ Styles as the United States Champion. The fact that this could happen in WWE is something I never thought we'd see. But I will say if Brock Lesnar keeps that strap, I'm getting tired of it. I'm sorry, Brock. I know you're a shoot fighter. And I know people like to see you beat the shit out of people. But I'm over it. I'm a little bit over it. I'm a little bit over Heyman. It's time. We need to get the strap that's supposedly on the A show off the guy who takes 6 months breaks.
Mhm.
It's time.
I totally agree. I mean, judging by Brock Lesnar's run, it has been okay, but I mean, right now I think he has held on to the Universal title for long enough. And usually at this time, putting a belt on a part-timer this long doesn't really amount to anything. He doesn't really bring. He only brings the spectacle that he is one of the toughest sons of bitches that you can ever find on a wrestling mat, and he will kick your ass if he can do it. However, at the timing right now, I do believe that it is time that Brock Lesnar releases the belt. And to ask the question, who will win the title, I find it really, really hard to pick a winner on this one, because I think this is one of the rare Raw title matches that I would say that I would love to just watch and see what happens. Who knows? I mean, like Fizz says, if Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss did not break a ring, I fully want to see the ring get broken in this match. Because the amount of beef that you have on that ring is just amount to, oh my God, someone has to crash into a ring at some point, or even just break it. But I think a fan side of me would say, let's just sit down and enjoy the ride that is this 4-way, because this is one match that I really would like to see from start to finish, basically. Full 30-minute, who knows? Full 45 minutes, who knows? And if you want to pick out who's going to win, I think it's time that Roman Reigns puts the strap on him. I think it's time. He has been advocating it for far long enough, and I think even if he wins, I think creating a new set of storylines with him and Strowman, because let's just face it, these two can have any kind of fight, and even I would still say, hey, it's fresh. It's just me. I mean, personally, I'd root for Roman for this one, but a fan side of me would say, let's just sit down and watch from start to finish, because I do believe that this is going to be one hell of a ride.
And Adam looks like he's about to prepare the MREs in his bunker because the winter of Roman is coming, as NDS has prophesized.
I'm
not prophesizing anything. I'm just speculating.
We have seen these smart crowds, and I know you shouldn't book based on idiots in the audience, but if Roman wins that belt, they will tear the Barclays Center down.
If they haven't really torn the Barclays Center down by letting Bray win over Finn, I think so. Okay.
That is if the Barclays Center is still standing after Sasha and Alexa get through with it.
I mean, Jesus, you're gonna have, and I think the Sasha Alexa match is going to be the match before this one. That's my personal opinion because it is so hot. This match, in my opinion, and I'm sorry to rain on your parade, Adam, but it will not be Samoa Joe.
Okay.
It will be Roman. Because
okay.
How? Roman will pin Samoa Joe. Because I see Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar taking each other outside the ring. Okay. They're going to get so entangled in their argument because if you go back a few months, Braun Strowman told Brock that he was coming after him.
And yet he still hasn't at that point. Yeah, but yeah.
Right. So that's going to happen outside the ring. Those two are going to take each other out.
Beef on beef. which leaves
two biggest guys in that match, if I'm not mistaken, the two biggest guys taking each other out. Which leaves Roman and Joe in the ring.
Yep.
Will Samoa Joe hook the cocaine in the clutch? Yeah. Roman will be standing, but instead of him falling, where Samoa Joe is on his side, Samoa Joe is going to be on his back, and he's going to fail to realize his shoulder blades are down. 1, 2, 3. He thinks he wins, and Roman's hand is raised.
That would be an excellent way to finish that match, to let Roman and Joe go off and do a thing, and Brock and Braun to go do a thing. I
would love to see Brock and Braun do their thing at Survivor Series in a cage, or a Hell in a Cell for that matter. But the thing is, can Brock and Braun pull a match like that off?
It's true, because
is Brock going to be here after SummerSlam?
Yeah,
I doubt it. His contract's up after SummerSlam anyway.
I thought it was up after 34.
No.
That's me. I do believe that his contract is going to be up after SummerSlam, I believe. But I might be wrong on that one. So
at the end of the day, Brock taking a break is really neither here nor there, because it's kind of what he does.
Because he's got that match with who beat Cormier just recently?
John Jones. But we are at minimum a year away from a John Jones Brock Lesnar fight. Which my thoughts on that will be put aside for another time.
No, you could share them now if you wish.
My thoughts on Brock versus John Jones are really quite simple. Brock is an accomplished fighter, there's no doubt, but my God, John Jones is one of the most gifted MMA fighters on the face of the planet. I'd have to. It won't be as lopsided as Mayweather and McGregor.
Well, that's going to be a joke.
But Jones versus Lesnar, I still pick Jones.
I do too, and it's not because I don't like Lesnar, but he's an arrogant, pompous son of a bitch.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's made a lot of money doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Vince is about money and about business. And I'm sorry to say, Brock took Vince to the cleaners on his last contract. And don't think for 1 second that Vince don't know that. And Vince is going to bend him over and say, look, you little bastard, I'll let you get over on me once. You ain't going to get over on me twice.
Besides, he's got a ginormous payday that he's going to, ginormous bank truck full of money that he's going to be depositing right outside the office of Mr. Conor McGregor or any other UFC fighter that's thinking of getting out of their contract with UFC, Zufta, whatever the heck you call it at this day of the week.
Ronda Rousey, for that matter, because she's training right now with, who is she training with? Brian Kendrick.
Yeah,
Brian Kendrick.
Brian Kendrick. Who knows? I think who knows? The truck that tolls Lesnar's money might even be at Barclays Center as we speak right now.
You better believe it is.
But I think, personally speaking, I think you guys would agree that this is a match that we would be looking forward to watching. Because even if we wanted to pull off something as a result, I think we just agree to sit down and just watch from start to finish.
Yeah, and I'm not, and you know as well as anybody, I am not the biggest fan of multiple person matches.
Yes, because there's going to be a lot of rest holds. There's going to be a lot of moments where people are going to be taken out and taking a breathers and all that. But yes, this is the fact. This is the fact of a four-way that we know and we have.
I call them what? The Foxtrot the Finn match.
My issue with these multi-man matches is that they've become a crutch for the company. But in this case, I'm totally fine with it. This is the match you put on the top of the marquee and expect people to come in and pay their money to see it. You don't get collision. WWE likes to talk a lot about how matches are car crashes and, you know, these spectacles of unmitigated violence. When very rarely do they live up to that.
Well, the only other match I see on the card that would be a ticket seller is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal. Why? People will buy tickets to see Jinder lose.
Yes, I agree with that.
I agree. I mean, yes. I mean, it's going to be one.
That is booking 101.
It's going to be simple booking on that side. But anyways, guys, I think we could start wrapping up quite early.
I think we've hit all
3 hours at 3.5 hours. Yeah, it's time to wrap this shit up.
It's time to wrap this shit up. I mean, I think we can all agree that SummerSlam is shaping up to be quite a good event. Great event.
I wish it didn't have 13 matches, but it is what it is.
I think we can agree that that would be a lot more tiring. I think there's a lot to digest with 13 matches on the card, counting pre-shows in that case. And even if you want to skip pre-shows, you still have 10 matches to watch. But I digress. This is what it is. This is how WWE plans to market its Big Four show. So,
yep. What do we see for Survivor Series? 16 matches?
Oh, please don't. Please do not put ideas on that. Because I think it's going to be a shorter one because of the scope of Survivor.
The multi-man matches. I think there'll probably be about 6 to 10 matches. And if they have to go further, they'll put 4 matches in the pre-show, making it 14.
I think you're going to see them use the old traditional Survivor Series matches. You're going to get at least 3 of those in whatever your world title matches are. So I could see an 8-match card just as easily as I can see another 15-match card, quite honestly. But I think Survivor Series will be a little bit shorter, a lot more manageable. But SummerSlam, this pay-per-view has replaced the Royal Rumble as the number 2 pay-per-view on the calendar. So they've decided to make a spectacle out of it, which I'm fine with, but they do have to pull back a little bit. These 13 matches, expecting people to be there at 6 in the afternoon and stay there until 11:30 or whatever it will be at night it's not feasible for professional wrestling in any age.
All right. Adam, that was good. Final thoughts, Fizz.
Okay, folks. Quick recap. For those who have stuck around this long, thank you for tuning in on this long journey of professional wrestling to SummerSlam. And we hope you've enjoyed the wild ride on this particular edition of the show. And 13 matches. Tozawa Neville, looking forward to it. New Day versus the Usos. Looking forward to this one. It might be the best tag match on the card. The 6-man tag match between the Hardys and Jason Jordan, Miz, and Miztourage will be a filler match, but I think it will be pretty enjoyable. Naomi versus Natalya will be an enjoyable match. There might be some stipulations and shenanigans afoot. Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks will probably destroy the entirety of the ring, because this will be the biggest shoot fight of all shoot fights. And I would also add that possibly this would be another match that would draw money to an audience or crowd. Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. If Nakamura wins the championship at SummerSlam, then there will be a crowning achievement moment for a babyface show. Styles Owens with special guest referee Shane McMahon. Hope this doesn't turn out to be a disaster. Randy Orton versus Rusev. Orton finally gets a decent opponent, and Rusev is serviceable. Rusev will probably crush. Show versus Cass with Amore suspended above a shark cage will be enjoyable, or at least for me. Balor Wyatt.
With Amore eating Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yes, with Amore eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. Balor Wyatt will probably be more enjoyable for me if Wyatt wins, but Vinnie McBrogue is probably going to win. Then Cena Corbin is also going to be another enjoyable match. Corbin might be launched for the wall, the Barclays Center, after Nikki Bella hits him with the Bella Hammer. Cesaro Sheamus versus Ambrose Rollins will be another enjoyable match. I'm expecting Ambrose and Rollins to win the championship belts because Sheamus has to go film a movie. And finally, Lesnar, Reigns, Joe, and Strowman is going to be an interesting match. Currently, I have it at number 4 or 5 on my list of most anticipated matches because the other ones I think are a little bit better or they have less people in them. But I think this will be a fun match, and if Roman Reigns wins, then, well, people are going to riot.
Well, true.
MDS?
Taker, you take it. I'll
No,
carry on.
you take it, then I'll take us home.
All right. Okay. 13 matches, pretty long. I hope we can stay on for all of this. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to even watching John Cena versus Baron Corbin. That's for sure. I mean, this is going to be an interesting match because SmackDown already built up all of their stories, a wait and see kind of pattern. That's one thing. And if Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss hasn't really broken the ring, just like Chris said, I think we'll see a broken ring eventually with the 4-man meet. That is Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman. I mean, hey, the only nitpick I have is that I have to tend to agree. The New Day and Kofi Kingston versus the Usos, Jey and Jimmy Uso. That is quite possibly one of the best feuds tag team division has right now, and you shove it in a pre-show, which is questionable. But hey, I'm still going to sit down. I'm going to sit my ass down and watch from start to finish, and I will guarantee that I will have a good time on it. A lot of talking points post SummerSlam. We'll see. Anyway,
Yeah.
that will be.
Well, all I can say is this: Friday's show for you and I and whomever we have on is going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting.
Yes, it is, because it'll probably be close to a 2.5-hour show. But I digress.
Yes. Already cutting it.
We are going to have one hell of a show coming up this weekend, tomorrow, Sunday, starting at, what is it, 6 p.m. Is it 6 p.m. Eastern for the pre-show?
Yeah, 6 p.m. Eastern for the pre-show.
Yeah, 6 p.m. Eastern pre-show, 4 p.m. Pacific. 2 hours of the pre-show, and then we have the main show starting at 8 o'clock. No, it's at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Oh.
Okay.
Because the main show starts at 7.
7. Yep.
Okay.
We're going to have an interesting show. I'm looking forward to the Jinder Mahal Shinsuke Nakamura match. Like I said, I see the Nakamura dynasty starting. And to hell with, even though I've been one of Jinder's biggest supporters, it's time for him to step aside. The pre-show match with the Usos and New Day. I see the New Day going over, even though I don't particularly care for their shtick. It's getting old. Yes, it's on. I have put up with it for a year and a half. It's time for them to do something different.
Okay.
The tag titles with Rollins and Ambrose. Ambrose and Rollins go over clean.
Okay.
And then Ambrose Shanghai's Rollins and beats the shit out of him with a chair.
Okay.
But anything other than that, we'll wait till Friday. It's next Shooting the Breeze, where we can talk about what we saw and what we think. You never know. I might have Fizzy back. You never know. I might have Adam back.
Who knows? Yeah.
Nobody knows who I'm going to have. Nobody knows who we're going to have. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed everybody sticking around. I mean, I've seen, we've had some internet issues, some personal stuff come up, which is fine. Y'all take care and have a great weekend. This is Tinker's Bending signing off for MDS, Fitzpatrick 14, and Adam Rice. This has been Breakfast at SummerSlam. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you. MDS and I will see you on Friday.
Have a good one, everyone.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.